Chapter 9:16. The next morning, when Qin Chu walked out of his morning meeting, Assistant Yang considerately handed him a band-aid. "Sir, the corner of your mouth is... it's injured. Here, stick it on." "No need," Qin Chu coldly refused. "Did a young lady bite you?" Assistant Yang was a very curious child. This was the first time he saw his boss' mouth was injured, so he was quite curious. He really wanted to know if it was a young lady's doing. After all, a young lady usually looked very gentle. She wouldn't do something so wild, right? Qin Chu faintly glanced at Assistant Yang and asked, "Could it be a poodle?" "Sir, you like dogs?" Assistant Yang was stunned. "You'll lose your bonus this month, next month, next month." Qin Chu pointed at Assistant Yang. His heart was really tired. He actually used such a silly assistant for more than half a year. Assistant Yang was once again dumbfounded. Wasn't he just suspecting that his boss was bitten by a dog? Was this necessary? 3 months of bonus? He really wanted to find a place to cry for a while. After he walked out of the office, he immediately reported to everyone, "The boss is in a bad mood today. Every department needs to be careful. If you say or do something wrong and get your bonus deducted, don't blame me for not warning you." Then, Assistant Yang walked to a corner and took out his phone again. This time, he used his trump card. In the past, whenever he was scolded by his boss, he only needed to call a young lady and it was guaranteed to work. After all, his boss had a wife complex. So, Assistant Yang dialed Huamin's number. Huamin was doing his rounds. When he saw that it was Assistant Yang, he hesitated for a moment before picking up. "A young lady, it's Assistant Yang. What's up?" Huamin thought that Qin Chu wanted him to pass on a message, so he was quite excited. "There's something I need a young lady's help with." "What is it?" "I accidentally said something wrong and the boss deducted 3 months of bonus. A young lady, please put in a good word for me." "I'm sorry, I can't help you. Your boss has been in a bad mood recently. My words are useless." "No way. The boss always listens to a young lady. Times are different. If you don't believe me, you can mention my name. And I guarantee that he'll deduct 3 months of bonus." Then Huamin quickly hung up the phone. Assistant Yang was dumbfounded. What kind of trick were these two playing? Didn't they say SM's taste last night? Why did they change? Normal people like him couldn't understand the world tycoons. At noontime, Jiang Xiaosu's. And time, night, it's while Jiang Xiaosu also did a prenatal checkup, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. "Hey, you being a witness is making a big deal out of this." Jiang Xiaosu glanced at Huamin. "I know." Huamin seemed very calm. "Does Qin Chu know you're doing this?" "Yeah." "How's he doing right now?" "He's going crazy." Huamin thought back to Qin Chu's condition and concluded, "If it were me, I'd go crazy too. I'd definitely be jealous. It doesn't matter who that person is as long as it's not Suyu. You just had to testify for Suyu and put yourself at the center of the storm. If I don't testify because I'm scared, then I'm not Huamin. I'll just be Huamin the turtle." Huamin felt like he couldn't be a Mary Sue, but he still had to have a bottom line. She just stood up to clarify the truth. This was a very normal thing to do. She wasn't trying to save the world, so was it necessary? Hearing Huamin's words, Jiang Xiaosu almost spat out the water in her mouth. "Don't tease me, I didn't realize you had such a funny side. I'm just stating the truth, okay?" Huamin said as he picked up some food. "Oh, right, I almost forgot about something important." After speaking, Jiang Xiaosu turned sideways, took out a long call log from her bag, and handed it to Huamin. "Here, my friend pulled up the call log from your old phone. Take a look." Chapter 9:17. When Huamin heard this, she couldn't wait any longer. She immediately took the phone and looked through it from top to bottom. Then she saw an unfamiliar number. It was a string of strange numbers that appeared 3 times. The frequency wasn't high, but it was very eye-catching. "You also want to ask about the number that starts with 920, right?" Jiang Xiaowei seemed to have guessed what Huamin wanted to ask. "Yeah, it's a strange number. Can you find out where it came from?" Huamin raised her head and looked at Jiang Xiaowei. Huamin noticed that the last time this number appeared was on the day of Uncle Jing's death. It was 2 in the morning. It was a strange time and a strange number. It looked like a space number that scammers often used. Well, I also felt that it was quite strange at the time, so I asked my hacker friend to check it out. It was very strange. It was indeed a group of space numbers, but following the clues, it was quite surprising. The IP was overseas. Overseas? Huamin was a little surprised. Jiang Xiaowei nodded. The location is Amsterdam, the Netherlands. But I can't find out the exact location because it's too far away. I can only find out that the person who used this number is in the Netherlands. Huamin carefully tried to recall. She couldn't remember when Uncle Jing knew someone from the Netherlands. This was too unexpected. It was beyond her imagination. Then, she continued to look at the call log. Everything was normal. There were calls from her and there were calls from her mother. There were also calls from some of Uncle Jing's friends when he was alive. However, the number that appeared 3 times was very strange. Can I get through to this number? I want to call and ask. Logically speaking, you shouldn't be able to get through because this number is similar to a scammer's number. You can only call, not intercept. The caller probably doesn't want to be found. But you can try because I haven't called before. Huamin nodded. She took out her phone and dialed the long string of numbers. But she realized that she really couldn't get through. There was only a beeping sound from the other end. This number shouldn't be scammers, right? Scammers can't appear 3 times at once, Jiang Xiaowei analyzed. It's definitely not a scammer, because there are call times here. Look, the last call was actually 4 minutes long. Huamin was a careful person. When he saw the time after the call, he was even more certain of the strangeness of this phone number. She was sure that Uncle Jing couldn't speak English, not even a single word. Yet, he was able to converse with people from the Netherlands. Could it be that the person on the other side was also from China? The more Huamin thought about it, the more confused he became. Also, she realized that her background was like a huge mystery. As she continued to investigate, she realized that there were more and more questions. It was not as simple as she thought. No wonder a powerful person like Rick couldn't do it, and Qin Chu couldn't do it. Even she herself felt that this matter was not ordinary, but even so, she wanted to find her family even more. She didn't know if her parents would know that she still existed in this world. Huamin argued with Qin Chu, so he didn't want to go home. However, he didn't want his mother to worry either, so he didn't go back to Sky Blessing Court. Instead, he arranged for himself to work a few night shifts at the hospital. During the day, he would rest on the bed in the hypnosis room. He already treated the hospital as his home. That night, Qin Yumin made a rare visit to the corporation. After inspecting the place, he got into Qin Chu's car and drove back to the Qin Manor. Dad has something to ask you. Go ahead, Qin Chu said as he drove. Originally, I didn't want to get involved in matters between you and Huamin. I didn't want to interfere with everything like your mom did, but this time, the media made such a big deal out of it. I don't understand how Huamin got involved with Suyu. He even stood out to testify for him. Right now, the public is saying terrible things. Have you guys discussed this? Qin Yumin asked in a serious tone. Qin Chu's expression changed. He knew that his father was going to ask about this. After all, everyone already knew about it. Chapter 9:18. Yeah, she told me. Qin Chu nodded. So you agreed with her? Qin Yumin looked at his son with a gloomy expression. I told her to do it. Qin Chu thought for a moment and explained. What? You told her to do it? Qin Yumin was a little surprised. He always thought that his daughter-in-law was too arrogant and didn't care about other people's feelings. But now that he heard his son say that it was his idea, he was quite surprised. Although Qin Chu was angry with Huamin, he would never slander her in front of other people. Instead, he would protect her, especially in front of his father. He would take all the responsibility on his own shoulders. As for what he did for Huamin, he didn't need Huamin to know about it. All he needed to do was take the blame. Yeah, I told her to do it because I didn't want to owe Suyu a favor. Actually, Suyu could have said it himself, but he didn't because he cared about our reputation. I think he's quite a loyal person, so I asked Huamin to testify for him. But do you know what people are saying? I don't care what people say. We live our lives for ourselves. As long as we're happy, we don't care about other people's opinions anymore. Dad, we're not in your era anymore. We can only be ourselves. I know you care about us, but please believe in Huamin. Even if you don't believe in Huamin, please believe in your son. My judgment can't be wrong. Okay, since you said that, I won't ask anymore. Anyways, try to keep a low profile when you do things. Okay. Xianxia nodded. He was grateful that his father didn't nag. He was as annoying as his mother. Evening. The Qin manor was unusually lively. Mayor Song and his wife brought along Song Yisher. Qin Yuman, his wife, and Qin Chu had dinner together. Actually, Qin Chu didn't know that they were coming. He just happened to bump into them. Lady Qin instructed the maid to pack a lot of dumplings and 8 dishes. It was very sumptuous. Song Yisher posted a picture of dumplings and Qin Chu, who was sitting across from her. Huamin was on the night shift and wasn't in the mood for dinner. Sister Yingzi went to buy dinner for Ni Yang and Huamin. A young lady, I bought some vegetable porridge and pickled vegetables. Don't eat too much. Thank you. Huamin looked at Sister Yingzi gratefully. After Sister Yingzi left, she put her dinner aside and continued working. She was not in the mood to eat. At this moment, her phone rang. She immediately picked it up to check. She thought it was Qin Chu, but it was Huaxiqian. He didn't say anything. There was only a screenshot of Song Yisher's WeChat post. It said, "Very warm dinner. Thank you, Mr. Qin, Mama Qin, and you." There were 3 pictures below. The first one was a plate of white dumplings, and the second one was a selfie. Song Yisher's selfie was very beggar-like. She didn't act cute, scissors, or pretend to be innocent. She just rested her chin on her hand and only showed the side of her face. She looked like a bourgeois. Needless to say, it was definitely Qin Chu. In the third picture, Qin Chu was talking to Mayor Song. Even the side of his face was handsome enough, especially when he was discussing something seriously. Huamin was furious when he saw the picture. Mr. Qin went to talk to that little bitch just because he didn't like her. Little sister Mian, are you sad? Huaxiqian sent 3 words. Why would I be sad? Song Yisher posting something like this on WeChat at a time like this can easily make people think, Huaxiqian said. Then if I go eat with Suyu now, will it be a tie? Huamin asked back. You're going to eat with Suyu? Huaxiqian was a little shocked. I won't do something so low, Huamin replied. But if you don't do something, you might lose your status, because I realized that Song Yisher is quite powerful. She's not as easy to deal with as those other girls, Huaxiqian reminded him. I'm not in the mood to fight with her. She can do whatever she wants, I'm tired. Huamin was a little lonely. She didn't think that Qin Chu would be so quiet the entire day. He didn't call or send her a WeChat message. He even went to eat dinner with Song Yisher. God forbid. Do you need a lawyer? I can hire one for you. Why would I need a lawyer? Huamin replied in confusion. A divorce. Huaxiqian said in a serious tone. Huamian didn't know if he was serious or just joking. Seeing the word divorce, Huamin's heart sank. Chapter 9:19. To be honest, divorce was a word she had never thought about. Even when she argued with Qin Chu before, she didn't really want to divorce him. Marriage wasn't a game, and it wasn't something that could be married or divorced on a whim. Huaxiqian's words made Huamin extremely uncomfortable. Seeing that she didn't reply, Huaxiqian added, You took it seriously, I was just teasing you. Huamin decided not to reply, because she realized that whenever she and Qin Chu had a conflict, people would pick on her. They wanted her to divorce Qin Chu immediately. She remembered that her mother once said that words like divorce and breakup shouldn't be spoken carelessly. Because once hurtful words were spoken, they would leave a mark. If she talked about breakup too much, one day they would really break up, and she had already laid the groundwork for the future. If she talked about divorce too much, one day they would really divorce, because she had already laid the groundwork. Huamin's EQ wasn't that high, but it definitely wasn't low either. Although she was angry, she wouldn't say things like that to hurt Qin Chu. The Hua family had basically sorted out the situation. After Hu Zhenghai beat Xinjiani up, he put her under house arrest and forbade her from leaving the house. If he kicked her out now, wouldn't it be the same as asking her to go find an adulterer? Hua Si, on the other hand, was kicked out of the Hua family. In order not to expose the scandal, Hua Siqian sent him back to the Philippines with a plane ticket. Hua Yanyan was still Hu Zhenghai's child, so she was allowed to stay in the Hua family. However, because of her mother and brother, Hua Yanyan had lost all of her popularity. She had almost fallen out of favor. She racked her brains to hook up with those rich men's sons, only hoping to find a powerful one to marry her. Then, she could save her mother from disaster. Jiang Hong and Hua Siqian, on the other hand, were the biggest winners, but he wanted more than that. At the Hua family mansion, Hu Zhenghai hadn't returned for 3 nights, and it seemed like he was keeping another young model outside. It was wishful thinking for him to have a son at his age. Jiang Hong was already very calm about this kind of thing. She was drinking tea with Hua Siqian on the sofa in the living room. Hua Siqian respectfully poured a cup of tea for his adoptive mother and carefully handed it to her. "Mom, you haven't been out much lately. It's boring to stay at home all the time. It's good to go out and relax. If you want to go abroad, I'll book tickets for you. Don't worry. It's pretty good at home now. It's quiet." Jiang Hong smiled slightly. Xinjiani's defeat made her very happy. The thorn in her side for more than 20 years was finally removed. Her mood was much better all of a sudden. Damn old man, this shameless old man is fooling around outside again. Find someone to keep an eye on him. Don't let him have another son. It was not easy to move in with Xinjiani. I don't want to have a second one. Jiang Hong warned. Don't worry, Ma. I won't. You can play with him as much as you want, but don't even think about having children. How are things with the board of directors? Almost all of them are our people now. We can kick them out at any time. It's just that too many things have happened recently. I can't be too obvious about it. I'll find a suitable opportunity. I trust you. Mom, you still have feelings for the old man after all these years, right? If you do, I won't be so ruthless. I'll keep him by your side. He'll be a companion. No need. My heart has been riddled with holes over the years. Ever since Xinjiani married into our family, I've been gritting my teeth. One day, I'll see him begging for mercy and kick him away. Jiang Hong hated Hu Zhenghai to the core. Although she didn't have feelings for Hu Zhenghai in the beginning, she was a woman who cared a lot about her reputation. Xinjiani married into the family openly and even gave birth to a son and a daughter. This made her a laughingstock in the socialite circle for years. She had suppressed this hatred in her heart for a long time, so she couldn't go easy on Hu Zhenghai. If you say so, then I know what to do. Hua Siqian smiled. Siqian. Go ahead, Mom. Hua Siqian was smart enough to act according to the situation. As soon as he heard Jiang Hong's tone, he knew that she had something else to say. As expected, Jiang Hong put down the teacup in her hand and said meaningfully, "You're over 30, it's time to start a family." Chapter 920. Mom, I'm not in a hurry. You have to be. It's not about whether you're in a hurry or not. I just think that if you can find a woman of equal social status, it might be better for us. Hua Siqian licked his lips, smiled, and didn't say anything. Forget about the thing between you and that actress. She's just an actress. Just play around, don't take it to heart. I know, Mom. Hua Siqian was very obedient and nodded in response to Jiang Hong's words. As a member of a family like ours, you shouldn't think about love. That's illusory. It's not suitable for us. Also, I think that a marriage with benefits will last longer. A marriage formed by love is actually very fragile. Once the love is gone, the marriage can't be maintained. Do you understand what I mean? I understand. Hua Siqian poured another cup of tea for his mother and carefully pushed it towards her. What do you plan to do with Hua Min? Jiang Hong asked softly as she took the teacup. I'll still kick her out. These 4 words made Jiang Hong's frown slowly fade away. She seemed to be very satisfied with Hua Siqian's answer. That kid is smart, and I like her, but she's too arrogant to be of use to us. There's no point in keeping her. Hua Min has always dreamed of using her to get close to Qin Chu. Hu Jinghai doesn't even know how smart Hu Min is. I won't take that risk, I'll just kick her out. Xiqian, you have to remember, the Hua family belongs to me and my son. I know. Hua Xiqian nodded. Jiang Hong was an extremely calm and even cold woman. She was born without love. She was born into the wealthy Jiang family and had been scheming against her brothers and sisters since she was young. She had no family, no love, and no friendship. All of her interpersonal relationships were calculated. In order to adopt Hua Xiqian from her sister, she gave her sister more than 30 million yuan to invest in a factory. Now, she raised a scheming son, but Hua Xiqian was much scarier than she imagined. After Su Yu was cleared of all charges, he kept a low profile and rarely appeared in public. Occasionally, he would go to Imperial Star to deal with business, but most of the time, he would stay in the Su family's villa. Because someone had died in the private villa, it was rather unlucky, so it was directly sold at a low price. Su Yu's return home made the Su family especially happy. Mr. Su was busy with work and was rarely at home. Master Lord Su would occasionally take a break. He would drink with his grandson and play chess. He lived a very leisurely life. On this day, the old man was in a good mood and looked for Su Yu to play chess. The grandfather and grandson were sitting on the tatami mats in the study upstairs, playing Chinese chess. Next to it was incense, which had an ancient charm. What do you think of Grandpa Su's granddaughter? When the old man asked this question, the two guests had already been gone for more than 10 days. They only stayed for a few days. After all, they had matters to attend to, so it was inconvenient for them to stay for long. Grandpa, are you talking about that Su Jimin? Su Yu picked up a horse and placed it on the chessboard. Yes. She's pretty good. The little girl is quite lively, naive and romantic. Surprisingly, Su Yu's evaluation of her was quite high. Then if she's your wife? Before Master Lord Su could finish, Su Yu interrupted him. Forget it. That girl is fine as a sister, but as a wife, I'd rather be single for the rest of my life. What? Master Lord Su was confused. She's not my cup of tea. Then what do you want? Pork stewed with pickled cabbage. Su Yu replied flirtatiously. You brat, can't you have a pleasant chat with Grandpa? Master Lord Su was helpless. Ah, General Grandpa, you lost. There's no solution to the checkmate, Su Yu clapped his hands and cheered, laughing uncontrollably. Grandpa's chess skills were superb and he rarely won. Today, the old man's mind was no longer on chess, but on testing his grandson's thoughts. Brat, don't play dumb with me. Just tell me, when can I have a great-granddaughter or great-granddaughter? The old man was also anxious. He pushed the chessboard and started playing. Oh, are you threatening me now? Cut the crap and answer the question directly. Master Lord Su was unwilling to give up. Chapter 921. You'll definitely have a great-grandson and a great-granddaughter. Don't worry, it's only a matter of time. If I wait another 20 years, I'll be a pile of dirt by now. My bones will rot away. Master Lord Su was furious. Then tell me, what do you mean? Get married as soon as possible. Then I have to have someone to marry. Su Yu laughed dryly, wondering why his old man was so stubborn. I've already thought about it. If you really don't like Jimin, that actress from your company is fine too, but I've relaxed the rules. The one called Tong or something, Grandpa Su said as he leaned against the wall behind him and lit a cigarette. No. Su Yu hurriedly waved his hand. Don't you like that girl? Grandpa, who told you that I like her? Su Yu asked with a smile. The media said it. I read it in the newspapers all the time. Gosh, you even believe the media's words? The media's words, other than the year, month, and date, are all fake. Even the weather forecast is always lying to us commoners. Stop spouting nonsense. We're talking about your business now. Why are you talking about the weather forecast? Master Lord Su was anxious about Su Yu's accident. At the same time, he thought of something. She was in a hurry for Su Yu to start a family. Men were sometimes fickle because they were single. Once they had a family, a wife, and children, they would feel responsible. The old man decided to let his grandson get married and restrain his flamboyant personality. It would be good for the future. He didn't expect this kid to refuse to talk about the main topic. He kept talking about random things all the way to Los Angeles. The main topic is easy, but you said no. When I find a wife, I have to find someone I like. Grandpa, a lifetime is only a few decades. Our family doesn't lack money or power, so I don't have to find a socialite to marry, right? Plus, I'm your only grandson. Can you bear to see me live a miserable life? Who wants you to get married? The problem now is for you to find someone quickly. Who do you like? Tell me. I don't have anything for the time being. When I find something I like, I'll tell you. It's getting late. You should rest early. After saying this, Suyu got off the tatami and ran away. This brat. Seeing that his grandson was unwilling to speak, Master Lord Su asked for an entire night but to no avail. He was truly out of options. When Suyu returned to his room, he saw his mother changing the bedsheets. That's enough. It's such a waste to change it every day. I'm not a clean freak. I saw it when I was shopping today. The material is good, so I bought it for you. You can use it first. It's rare for you to come home. Lady Su was especially happy that her son had returned home. Every day, she told the kitchen to cook different dishes for Suyu. The daily necessities were changed every day, and the service was even better than that of a hotel. Suyu actually understood his mother's feelings very well. Every mother doted on their son. Are you hungry? Do you want to eat something? Lady Su asked. I'm not hungry. Then you should go to bed early. Okay. Suyu turned around, took off his jacket, and prepared to take a shower. Lady Su suddenly thought of something and asked, Son, Huamin's testimony was key to you coming out this time. But now she's at the center of the storm. You've been in the media industry for so long. Can you help her explain? I'm worried that she won't be able to handle such a big scandal. Lady Su knew that Huamin had helped her son, so she was grateful. Now that she saw the media crazily reporting about this matter, she felt bad. Suyu was fine. After all, he was a godlike tycoon with scandals. Ever since he started his company, scandals had never stopped. However, Huamin was different. She was a girl. Once she was at a disadvantage, she would drown in saliva. After hearing his mother's words, Suyu's expression became complicated. He originally wanted to protect Huamin, but now it was the other way around. Huamin helped him clear his name, but he was the one being slandered. Chapter 922. I want to help, but I'm afraid it'll only make things worse, Suyu replied in all seriousness. As one of the male leads in the scandal, if he stepped out to clear Huamin's name, it would cause an even bigger backlash. Therefore, he had no choice but to remain silent and control the media that he could control to suppress the scandal. He even asked some paid posters to speak up for Huamin, but it didn't seem to be of any use. In the age of the internet, news spread faster and faster, and the more it spread, the more ridiculous it became. Okay, I got it. Lady Su turned around and left. After taking a shower, Suyu lay in bed and turned on his phone. The screensaver was a classic photo of Huamin in a white lab coat. He stared at the photo for about 10 seconds before unlocking his phone and logging into Weibo. There were a lot of comments under his Weibo, but most of them were his fans. The top comment was a rather dramatic one. The person said, I've never hated Lord Su before. There were more than 2,000 people who liked the post, and it was quite popular. Most of the comments were from female fans who kept calling him hubby, so he didn't care. However, there were also a few who scolded him. Suyu, what's your relationship with Huamin? Why did she help you clear your name? Why did a young lady of GK come to Suyu's birthday? Is she a spy you sent to Chinchu? Bro, it's not good for you to seduce a married woman. It's a moral issue. A third party is still a third party. It's wrong to be a third party. You're a rich godlike tycoon. You can have any woman you want. Why would you seduce someone else's wife? Another comment was even more amusing. Why do I feel like there's more to this than meets the eye? Suyu and Chinchu have a love-hate relationship. Huamin is the real cannon fodder. Suyu was speechless after reading this comment. He couldn't help but marvel at how talented the netizens were. He quietly clicked on Huamin's Weibo and found that she hadn't updated recently. However, the comments under the most recent Weibo post had exploded. There were about 50 to 60,000 comments. She clicked on them and saw that they were all scolding her. Huamin, how can you be so shameless? You seduced Lord Su when you already have a husband. The women of the Hua family are all bitches. Huamin and Huayanyan are all the same. Identification complete. I want to know the extent of the trauma in CEO Qin's heart after this incident was exposed. Huamin, is it really okay for you to be two-timing? Are you worthy of President Qin buying you a sports car and a mansion? You're a woman who doesn't know how lucky she is. She's courting death. Miss Hua, who's better at sex, President Su or President Qin? I'll bet 10 cents that Huamin and Qin Chu are about to get a divorce. If they don't, I'll live stream myself eating shit. Huamin's comment section was a mess, but most of them were scolding her. Women had always been the underdog in this society. Su Yu's heart ached, especially when Huamin didn't say anything. He didn't even refute or explain. He just silently endured everything. Previously, one of his male artists cheated on his wife. When she was pregnant, he slept with another female artist. After the result was exposed, their careers went downhill. In the end, the male artist listened to the advice of his public relations team. He cried bitterly and held a press conference, saying that he was sorry for his wife and that he would turn over a new leaf. The female mistress was scolded to the core and had no hope of making a comeback. She was shelved by Imperial Star and left the country for Australia. It took two hands to clap. Both of them weren't good people. However, the man had to kowtow and admit his mistakes, play the role of a good husband, and beg for forgiveness. On the other hand, the woman would be scolded to the point that her name would go down in history and she would never be able to make a comeback. Therefore, Su was very afraid that Huamin would carry this stain on his record and he would never be able to erase it. If that was the case, he might as well go to court. The police wouldn't be able to detain him anyway. After hesitating for a long time, Su sent a private message to Huamin. There were only 3 words. Are you asleep? He didn't know that Huamin wasn't going home anymore. He was sleeping at Southside and was in a bad situation. Huamin rarely logged into Weibo. She was bored on the night shift and was afraid that she would be sleepy, so she took out her phone to read the news. She accidentally logged into Weibo and saw Su Yu's private message. Not yet, she replied. I told you not to help me. Look at you now. You've been scolded to death. Do you know that? Su Yu wrote, feeling sorry for her. Chapter 923. I know. Huamin didn't like to waste time, so his reply was short and concise. Then are you stupid? Even if I dug out my IQ, I'd still be 2 pounds higher than you. Su Yu, you're still in the mood to joke at a time like this? Su Yu was also depressed. The darkness will pass eventually. What's there to be afraid of? It's not like the sky is falling. Huamin was very optimistic. Then, what about Qin Chu? Did he fight with you? Su Yu asked anxiously. The truth was he was quite conflicted. Selfishly speaking, he quite liked the idea of Qin Chu and Huamin fighting. If that happened, then Qin Chu would lose Huamin in the future, and he would have a chance. However, from the overall situation, Huamian and Qin Chu had deep feelings for each other since the last time the two families fought. Ever since Huamin's quick-witted response to GK's crisis, Huamin was the woman who was willing to beg Hua Xiqian for Qin Chu. Therefore, if Qin Chu and Huamin fought, then Qin Chu, who was deeply in love with Huamin, would be very sad. Su Yu, on the other hand, didn't want Huamin to be sad, so he was conflicted after asking this question. I'm fine. Huamin's answer was vague. She wouldn't tell Su Yu about her relationship with Qin Chu. After all, it was a private matter between the two of them. If you can't handle it, then go abroad for a while. I'll slowly deal with this here in China, and you can come back when things calm down. It's okay, I can handle it, it's nothing's a plus, there's nothing between us, why should I run away? Okay, so you're right. Su Yu was a little disappointed. There was indeed nothing between him and Huamin. It was just that someone had taken the opportunity to make a big fuss out of nothing. Because of their identities, they had been hyped up. After sending private messages for a while, Suyu still couldn't fall asleep. He sent a message in the group, "Who's not coming? Who wants to come out for a few drinks?" "Me," Tang Chuan replied immediately. "Me too." Wei Liao also gave a rare reply. "You're floating in the water. Won't Dr. Jiang kill you?" Everyone knew that Wei Liao doted on Jiang Xiaowei a lot, especially after she got pregnant. He treated her like a queen. Since then, Wei Liao rarely came out to drink, so when he finally showed up, Tang Chuan and Suyu were quite surprised. My doctor took the initiative to ask me to come out. He said that he was afraid that I would have prenatal depression. Wei Liao smiled. Prenatal depression? Isn't that a disease of pregnant women? What does it have to do with you? Tang Chuan exclaimed. You don't understand this, do you? Nowadays, a lot of men accompany their husbands to give birth. In the end, after a long time, their wives are fine, but they get sick. My wife has a doctorate in psychology. Don't doubt her theory. Wei Liao looked at him with admiration. Never in his wildest dreams did he think that he would one day marry a top student. Oh, whatever your wife says is right. Stop talking nonsense. We'll wait for you on the top floor of Seductive Fox. Then, the three of them drove to their appointments. Suyu drove a black Lamborghini. Tang Chuan's flirtatious pink Ferrari and Wei Liao's low-key Land Rover Range Rover both stopped at the entrance of Seductive Fox. In the private room on the top floor, Tang Chuan didn't bring a female companion, which was rare. There were only the three of them in the huge private room. Suyu ordered some drinks and snacks. Then, the three of them sat across from each other and chatted. I thought about some things today, but I don't really understand them. You two can help me sort them out. Suyu held an empty glass and spun it around on the coffee table. Sure. Tang Chuan nodded. Tell me about it. Wei Liao guessed that Suyu had something to say. It was so late at night. Instead of sleeping, he came out to drink. Zhao Xia died in my private villa. The time of her death happened to be when I wasn't on the surveillance camera. That's when I met Huamin. So, I'm more suspicious than anyone else. Normal people would think that Zhao Xia used her death to frame me and avenge her sister. Isn't that the case? Tang Chuan was stunned. On the surface, it seems so. But after thinking about it carefully, I feel that something is wrong. Wei Liao took out a chunghua and held it in his mouth as he looked at Suyu and asked, What's wrong? Chapter 9:24. First of all, how did Zhao Xia know when I left the banquet? She should have been in my bedroom by then. She's an accomplice. Otherwise, how could someone of Zhao Xia's status sneak in without an invitation? Tang Chuan analyzed. That's right, she's definitely an accomplice. What I want to tell you now is their goal. Goal? Isn't their goal to slander you? Guess? Even an idiot would know that. Tang Chuan looked at Suyu in confusion. No, I don't think it's that simple. Do you see any other flaws? Wei Liao asked. I think that if they wanted to slander me, they would have found a way to lure me into the mansion. Wouldn't that be more evidence? They wouldn't have let me go out to meet Huamin. Huamin would be the only witness, and she would definitely testify for me. So you're saying? Wei Liao seemed to understand what Suyu meant. Yeah, I have a bold guess. I think that Zhao Xia might have been used. On the surface, her death was to slander me, but in reality, that person's goal might be to slander Huamin. Once Huamin testifies for me and clears my name, she would fall into that person's trap. Now that things have developed into this situation, perhaps that's the true goal of the mastermind. Holy shit, no way, that's too scary. It's a series of traps. Tang Chuan exclaimed. Wei Liao and Suyu looked at each other, seemingly understanding each other's thoughts. Wei Liao stomped on the cigarette butt and said in a serious tone, If that's the case, then this person is very scary. Zhao Xia was used, and slandering you was also a catalyst. He calculated everything, including the time you met Huamin, and his understanding of Huamin's personality. That's why he was able to control the situation and make things develop in the direction he wanted. This person is incredible. I just have a feeling, but I'm not sure. So, are you going to investigate it? Of course, this person is not only my enemy, but also Huamin's enemy. I have to find him. Su Yu had been holding back his anger. After thinking about it today, he felt that something was wrong. Originally, he also knew that Zhao Xia definitely had an accomplice. Later, he boldly speculated that this matter might have something to do with Huamin, because that person would not sacrifice Zhao Xia to do something that could not be blackmailed at all. This was tantamount to a waste of time because everyone knew Su Yu's identity. Even if they went to court, they would not lose the case. This was an irrefutable fact. Huamin was framed, so he must not be on good terms with Qin Chu. Therefore, the most likely suspect is the murderer. I thought of someone, Tang Chuan suddenly said. Is it Song Yisher? Wei Liao blurted out. Smart. Tang Chuan gave him a thumbs up. I don't think it's Song Yisher. Su Yu shook his head and rejected Tang Chuan's suggestion. She's the most suspicious. You don't know how ambitious your woman is, right? She moved to Imperial Park. What kind of place is that? That's where Huamin and Qin Chu live. Plus, Song Yisher has a lot of power and connections. It's convenient for her to do things. Tang Chuan especially disliked Song Yisher because the socialites who were close to Song Yisher were all famous scheming bitches in the industry. In the past, Tang Chuan had a girlfriend who was bullied by those women. Because of this, Tang Chuan even had a fight with them on Weibo. Zhao Qingya's accident happened a long time ago, and Song Yisher just came back not long ago. I don't think she would think of a way to do something like this. If the mayor's daughter is involved in something like murder and Bingdu, it will affect her father's career. I don't think Song Yisher would take such a risk just to frame Huamin and ruin their relationship. This was Wei Liao's analysis. Wei Liao had always been known for his intelligence, so Su Yu would often discuss things with him that he couldn't figure out. Su Yu nodded and agreed with Wei Liao. That's strange, who else could it be? Tang Chuan muttered to himself. This person must be someone important, and they're ruthless, Su Yu speculated. Hey, do you guys think it could be Lady Qin? Doesn't she hate Huamin the most? Tang Chuan suddenly thought of someone and quickly asked. Chapter 925. Well, it's hard to say for now, but such a meticulous plan doesn't seem like something Lady Qin would do. If it were her, there would be someone helping her behind the scenes. I've seen Lady Qin's interview before, she's extremely brainless. Su Yu obviously didn't have a high opinion of Lady Qin. Okay, let's not dwell on it for now. Since we know it's a conspiracy, let's investigate it. As long as it's man-made, there must be flaws. There will be clues left behind, Tang Chuan suggested. Okay, come, let's have a drink. After all these years, I've finally been tricked by someone hot. Su Yu raised his glass. Qin family mansion. After dinner, Mayor Song and his wife chatted with the Qin family couple in the living room. Qin Chu was about to drive away when Song Yisher followed him out. Qin Chu, can you give me a ride home? I'm a little sleepy. I still have to work on the renovation of the school tomorrow, so I want to go home early and rest. Qin Chu nodded and didn't say anything else. Song Yisher opened the door to the passenger seat and was about to get in. Qin Chu said, "Go sit in the back." Before she could say anything, Qin Chu continued, "Mian doesn't like other people sitting in my passenger seat." Song Yisher smiled. Then she immediately got up, opened the car door and got in. Although she was a little upset, she didn't show it on her face. On the way back, Qin Chu drove without saying anything. He seemed to be in a bad mood and only ate a dumpling for dinner. "Are you in a bad mood?" Song Yisher asked. Actually, the rumors are spreading like wildfire, and everyone knows about it. I know why you're like this even if you don't tell me, but I believe in Huamin. There's nothing between her and Su Yu. You believe her? Qin Chu was slightly startled. That's right. If there really was something going on, Huamin wouldn't have testified. Wouldn't that leave evidence for others to use against him? It's precisely because she has nothing that she has to testify for Su Yu. She has a good character, so I believe that she and Su Yu are definitely not like what the outside world says. Upon hearing what Song Yisher said, Qin Chu was quite surprised. To be honest, he thought that Song Yishe would take the opportunity to slander Huamin, but she didn't. She actually said that she believed in Huamin. This woman was really not ordinary. Thank you on behalf of Mian. Qin Chu's attitude was obviously better than before. Even though he was still angry with her, he felt comfortable listening to her speak up for Huamin. I heard it from people in the industry. Don't think too much, I'm just saying. Go ahead, Qin Chu said when he heard Song Yishe's hesitation. I heard that Suyu has liked Huamin for a long time, right? I didn't know before, after all, I just came back not long ago. But I can tell that 2 of my friends went overboard last time at my house and bullied Huamin. Do you remember? That night, Suyu turned his car around and deliberately hit my friend's car. At the time, I was quite confused, but now that I think about it, he might really be interested in Huamin. Qin Chu drove but didn't respond. Song Yishe couldn't guess what Qin Chu was thinking, so she immediately said, but I believe that Huamin doesn't have that kind of intention. After all, he's married to you. After all, you guys have been together for so many years, right? She said this to get on Qin Chu's good side. I'm not angry because I suspect that there's something going on between Mian and Suyu, Qin Chu said word for word. Then you? I'm angry because she did it without regard for her own reputation. I don't care about my reputation, and I don't care about GK's reputation, but I care about her. I can't stand her being criticized by everyone. Qin Chu said slowly. Song Yishe was quite shocked when she heard what he said. I didn't think that you loved her so deeply, she said unhappily. Chapter 9:26. Of course. I'm so jealous of Huamin. She has you to love her so much. Song Yishe smiled. Qin Chu didn't say anything else. The 2 of them returned to Imperial Park together. It was already late at night and the streets were deserted. However, no one noticed an invisible camera that was stuck on a tree branch not far away. The red dot kept blinking as if it was recording something. After they returned to the neighborhood, Song Yishe stopped pestering Qin Chu and went home. Qin Chu didn't go upstairs. Instead, he drove out. This time, he drove directly to Sky Blessing Court. However, he was surprised to find that Huamin's car wasn't there. He drove to Southside Recuperation Center. When he saw the Audi R8 parked in the hospital's parking lot, he realized that Huamin didn't go home. He should have held back during the Cold War, but he realized that he missed her like crazy. He missed her every frown and smile. He missed her voice. He wanted to hug her to sleep. He wanted to smell her baby-like scent. He wanted to look at her slightly curled eyelashes as she slept. The longing grew crazily in his heart. In the end, he couldn't suppress it, it overflowed. He held back for 7 years in the United States, but now he couldn't hold back for even one day. He was used to having her by his side. It was like how water was important to a fish, and how the sky was important to a bird. Huamin wasn't the head nurse anymore, so she wasn't on duty at the public TV station. She was still on duty at the office during the night shift. If there was a patient, she would treat them. However, there weren't any emergencies in the neurology department, so she didn't have much to do at night. Dr. Hua, there's a patient at night. The assistant nurse knocked on the door to remind her. Is it my department? Huamin asked. Yes, they're in the emergency room in the lobby. They seem to be in a hurry. Okay, I'll be right down. Huamin looked at her phone. It was already late at night. They should be in a hurry to see a patient at this time, right? Therefore, she got up, put on her white coat and walked out. In the lobby downstairs, a woman and an old lady were accompanying a man in his 30s. His whole body was twitching, and his mouth kept saying something. He couldn't understand, but he seemed to be very agitated. Dr. Hua is here. You can talk to him, the nurse said to the patient's family. Doctor, quickly take a look at my husband. I don't know what happened to you. You suddenly became like this. It's so scary. Is it epilepsy? Or is he mentally ill? The woman said anxiously. Huamin looked at the man. He seemed to be in a trance. Any history of mental illness? The woman shook her head. Does anyone in the family have a medical history? In the immediate family? Huamian asked. The old lady beside him quickly shook her head. No, neither his father nor I have. There's so much gold on the ground. Ha, why don't you guys pick it up, you idiots? After saying that, the man lowered his head uncontrollably and seemed to be drawing something on the ground. Hubby, look at me. Don't scare me. The woman was so scared that she started crying. I don't think he has epilepsy. How about this? Bring him in first. I'll give him a shot of sedative and then draw his blood for a blood test. Okay. The woman and the old lady panicked. Following Huamin's instructions, they helped the man up and tried to drag him into the clinic. Suddenly, the man slapped the woman and sent her flying. He kicked the old lady away. Everyone screamed in fear. The timid nurses were so scared that they retreated. For some reason, the man went crazy. He raised his head and looked at Huamin. You demon, why did you steal my gold? Before Huamin could say anything, the man suddenly ran over and grabbed Huamin's neck with both hands. Then he strangled her tightly. I'm going to strangle you to death, you demon. You ruined my plans and blocked my path to wealth. I'm going to strangle you to death. The man's gaze was fierce. Hubby, don't do this. Let go, she's the doctor. The woman ran over while crying, but no matter what she did, he wouldn't let go. Huamin felt like she was going to suffocate when someone suddenly grabbed her by the neck. She reached out to take out the silver needles that she always carried with her, but she realized that her hands wouldn't listen to her. Her brain was running out of oxygen. Just as she felt like she was going to be strangled to death, suddenly, a figure flashed over and pulled the man away. Then, the man was violently thrown a few meters away. Huamin slowly fell to the ground. Xianxia hugged her. He was so nervous that his heart almost stopped. Honey, are you okay? Chapter 9:27. Huamin wanted to say something, but she couldn't. She reached out and touched Xianxia's face, her eyes unfocused. To be honest, Xianxia was scared out of his wits. He didn't care that there were people around them and immediately performed CPR. After about half a minute, Huamin finally came back to her senses. Why are you here? Huamin asked weakly when she saw Xianxia. Dr. Hua, it's a good thing that your husband is here. Otherwise, you would be in big trouble. The patient who was sent in just now went crazy and hurt people everywhere. He almost strangled you, the nurse explained. Huamin thought for a moment and then got down from Xianxia's arms. She gently stroked her forehead as she walked unsteadily. Xianxia was worried, so he quickly went up to help her up. Where's the patient? Huamin asked. He was tied up by our security. We were afraid that he would hurt people again. Huamin nodded. Let's do a urine test. I don't think he's mentally ill. If I'm not wrong, he probably ate something. Okay, Dr. Hua. The nurse nodded and immediately did as Huamin instructed. Xianxia helped her to a bench in the consultation room and sat down. Then, he poured her a glass of warm water and handed it to her. Thank you. Huamin took the water. She was still very weak, as if she hadn't recovered yet. Why are you being so polite? Xianxia finally let out a sigh of relief when he saw that she was fine. Why are you here? Huamin finally noticed that Xianxia was here at this time. It was already so late. If I didn't come, my wife would have been strangled to death, Xianxia said angrily. Huamin, I'm going to tell Wu Zhongxing tomorrow to transfer you out of the neurology department. It's too dangerous. Huamin, then which subject do you think I'm suitable for? The finance department is not bad. You can work in the finance department. It's good to calculate the salary of the employees, Xianxia said seriously. Huamin, it was not easy for her to get the medical registration certificate, but Xianxia actually asked her to work as an accountant in the finance department. What a crazy idea. Before Huamin could say anything, the nurse knocked on the door and walked in. Dr. Hua, the results are out. The urine test is positive. Call the police and send him to the Public Security Bureau. Huamin had long suspected that the man had eaten something, which was why he was so abnormal. He was neither mentally ill nor epileptic. This kind of person was really a danger to society. What do you think of my proposal? What suggestion? It's about finance. Xianxia did not give up. For the first time, he realized that being a doctor was such a dangerous profession. If he had arrived a step later, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Huamin raised his head and asked, "Then I might as well quit my job and wait at home to give birth to the baby. How about that?" "Good idea, it's perfect." "Huamin, President Qin, please don't make a fuss. I'm still at work and I'm very tired. You should go back." Huamin felt that Qin Chu's suggestion was completely unreasonable. If she quit her favorite profession, wouldn't she be bored to death? Huamin turned around and walked upstairs to her office. Qin Chu followed. "What are you doing?" "Keeping you company." "Why do you want to keep me company? Aren't we in a Cold War?" Huamin did not forget that they had not reconciled. "A Cold War and keeping you company don't conflict," Qin Chu replied cleverly. "But you're affecting my work. I was the one who gave you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Now you remember that I'm affecting your work. Huamin, can't you have some conscience?" Qin Chu was speechless. His wife was really good at burning bridges. "Did you enjoy your dinner?" Huamin asked. Qin Chu was silent. He did not know what she was trying to say. "Were the dumplings good?" Huamin asked with a smile. "Yes." "Were the song Yisher good? Was it better than the dumplings?" Huamin continued to smile. However, her smile made Qin Chu's hair stand on end. Dumplings, song Yisher, she knew all about it. This was troublesome. Chapter 928. Why aren't you saying anything? Are you thinking about how to answer my question? Huamin asked when he saw that Qin Chu wasn't saying anything. "Honey, you're right, I did have dinner with Song Yisher tonight." "So, there's conclusive evidence that you cheated on her, right?" Huamin continued to ask. "Cheated on me?" Qin Chu was dumbfounded. Huamin was making a big deal out of nothing. "Why are you looking at me so surprised? Do you think I don't know anything? Do you think I'm easy to fool?" "No, I'm just surprised. Where did your imagination come from? How could you infer that I cheated on you from eating dumplings? You're a god." Qin Chu couldn't help but laugh. "Am I not? Don't you think you've been hanging out with Song Yisher too much lately? Last night, she delivered supper, and today, she had dinner. Tomorrow night, even kids know how to cook?" Qin Chu, what? You're speechless? Then please go back. Also, help me pass a message to Song Yisher. Huamin said it in all seriousness, but Qin Chu almost burst out laughing. "What message? As long as I'm alive, she's just a concubine." Qin Chu, honey, don't insult me like that. I haven't even punished you for being a witness for Suyu. Why would I punish me? There's nothing going on between me and Suyu. Then what's going on between me and Song Yisher? Qin Chu felt wronged. But I didn't eat dumplings with Suyu, and Suyu didn't deliver dinner to me. Suyu didn't move to Imperial Park either. Suyu isn't my childhood friend. He didn't know me when we were 8, and he didn't go to Sky Blessing Court every day to pretend to be a good girl in front of my mother. Huamin continued to dig. Qin Chu couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? Don't think you can win me over with your smile. Huamin had to admit that Mr. Qin looked very handsome when he smiled. Honey, it turns out that you're really so fun when you're jealous. Is it fun? Why don't I think so? Don't you think you're being too much? Mr. Qin. Huamin crossed his arms and angrily questioned Qin Chu. Honey, let's get this straight. Everything started because you testified for Suyu, and now rumors are flying everywhere. Not only are you not repentant, but you're also ignoring me and leaving me alone in the house. You're so willful that it's almost 5 stars. It's fine if you don't come home, but I thought you went back to your parents' home, but you didn't. Instead, you're working the night shift at the hospital. Why don't you take care of your body? Can you face your brother, Yushin, who loves you dearly? Can you face your husband, me, and the medicine you drank and vomited? Huamin was completely dumbfounded. She didn't know that Mr. Qin was so good at arguing. She thought she was good enough, but in the end, Mr. Qin used the medicine as a weapon and used it as a weapon. If you don't care about your body and stay up late, what if our baby is a night owl in the future? Who's going to take the blame? Qin Chu pretended to question her. Huamin was speechless. She stared at Qin Chu with wide eyes, speechless. She didn't know what to say. Who wants to have a baby with you? Hurry up and have one with Xianxia. She's so pretty, she can give birth to a little Zhiling for you. Huamin's words were full of jealousy. No, I only want a baby with a high IQ. Only a baby with you can continue your high IQ. So, you married me just to have a baby with a high IQ? Huamin's face darkened. What else? Is it because you're living a good life? For the first time in his life, Mr. Qin retorted back at Huamin. His words were like a bomb to her. After a while, she pointed at the office door and said, "Get out right now." Seeing that Huamin was angry, Qin Chu was secretly happy. He was finally free from his wife's oppression. So, he waved his hand and said, It's fine. I said the wrong thing. I apologize, I regret it. Honey, you're living the best life. No one in the world can compare to you, okay? Huamin gritted her teeth as she looked at the man in front of her. She really wanted to ask him why he was here tonight. Was he here to argue or to reconcile? Or was he here to cause trouble for her? Chapter 929. Honey, don't look at me like that. I won't be able to control myself. There was only one person in the world who could drive someone as calm as Huamin crazy, and that was Qin Chu. Qin Chu, are you here to pick a fight with me? Huamin asked with a straight face. No. Then why are you here? Huamin didn't understand why Qin Chu would show up at Southside in the middle of the night. Weren't they in a Cold War? I'm missing a certain heartless person. Qin Chu spoke the truth. You're not talking about me, are you? If it wasn't you, then did you think I came to Southside to see a doctor? Qin Chu was speechless. Huamin turned her head away and didn't say anything, but she was still angry. There was still a handprint left by the patient on her neck. Qin Chu furrowed his brows. His heart ached for her. Honey, let's stop fighting. What? Are you admitting your mistake? Huamin saw that Qin Chu seemed to want to reconcile. Is it that important who's right and who's wrong? Family is a place for love, not reason, Qin Chu said slowly. To be honest, Huamin was slightly moved by what Qin Chu said. Some people just couldn't tell the difference. They were nice to outsiders, but had a bad temper with their family. Huamin wasn't so bad. If it weren't for the fact that it involved her principles, she wouldn't have gotten mad at Qin Chu. You don't suspect that Su Yu and I are having an affair? Huamin looked at Qin Chu and questioned him coldly. Then do you suspect that there's something going on between me and Xianxia? Qin Chu asked back. Of course not. After calming down, Huamin trusted Qin Chu very much. Not to mention one Xianxia, even if there were 10 Xianxia, she still wouldn't think that Qin Chu would be snatched away. She knew Qin Chu's heart wasn't with Xianxia. If you could cheat on someone just by looking at their face, then GK had countless beautiful women, including Jiang Linyue. They weren't any less beautiful than Xianxia, but Qin Chu had never cheated on her, let alone Xianxia. Since you trust me so much, what else can I say? I am indeed angry about the matter between you and Su Yu. I don't care about the rumors outside, I only care that you are being attacked personally. It's okay. I'm used to it. It's not the first time I've been slandered anyway. Plus, I'm not a white lotus. I'm not afraid of slandering. A life without slandering isn't a complete life. Honey, you're always right. After calming down, Qin Chu no longer cared about the gains and losses of this incident. Instead, he humbly admitted his mistake. Although it wasn't his fault, when he saw Huamin almost choked to death, his heart almost jumped out of his chest. If this was the last time he saw Huamian, and they were separated forever, he would die of sadness, wouldn't he? What was he going to do for the rest of his life? He didn't dare to imagine what his life would be like without Huamin. When Huang Yu died, Huamin once said that other than life and death, everything else was insignificant. He thought that this made sense. As long as they were alive, they should cherish it. As long as they were still together, they shouldn't care about insignificant things. Don't think that I can forgive you just because of this. Then the next time we make love, I'll let you be on top, and I'll be on the bottom. He was doing it again and again. Every time after the rain, he would say something shocking. Qin Chu, can't you just have a nice chat? Pun, the night is long. It's so boring to just talk. There's a bed here. Why don't we? Are you crazy? This is a hospital. Don't even think about it. Honey, what I meant was that we can lie down and chat. Chu looked like he was wronged. Min felt awkward once again. He didn't say anything, but she always misunderstood him. Who wants to lie down and chat with you? Hurry up and leave. Don't disturb my work. After speaking, Min pushed Chu out. Honey, if you don't welcome me, then I'm going to go find Song Yisher, Chu said on purpose. Min was furious upon hearing this. Chu, don't you dare. If you go find her, then what do you want? Chu laughed as he looked at the furious Min. I'm going to find Su Yu too. I'm going now, Min said angrily. Sure, we're going in the same direction. The Song family and the Su family aren't far from each other. Do you want me to give you a ride? Chu smiled. Min stomped her feet in anger upon hearing this. Chu, you're so despicable. Before she could finish her sentence, Chu suddenly hugged her. Chu suddenly rushed over, hugged her, and kissed her domineeringly. Chapter 930. Min never thought that, even if they weren't at home or in GK's office, Min would still be able to kiss Min. Mr. Qin could kiss her whenever he wanted. He arrogantly pushed her down, and then, Dr. Hua, are you okay? The nurse, who didn't know what was going on, finally remembered that Min was in danger. He had barged in without a single thought, and all he asked was, however, she was dumbfounded by the scene in front of her. I'm sorry, Dr. Hua, you guys continue. The nurse slammed the door shut and ran away. Min pushed Chu away and punched him in the shoulder. See, it's all your fault. This girl has a big mouth. I bet the entire South Side knows about it now. What's wrong with me kissing my wife? Chu felt wronged. After the kiss, the two of them didn't feel so awkward anymore. Chu grabbed Min's hand and placed it in his palm. I still want to talk to you about Suyu. Didn't you say it's over? Why don't you let it go? Min looked at him helplessly. Chu shook his head. It's not about that. I'm talking about Suyu being framed this time. What's wrong? Min thought that it was normal for someone as arrogant as Suyu to be framed, right? After all, he had too many enemies. I don't think Suyu was framed this time, but the target wasn't him. The truth was, Chu should have suspected it a long time ago, but he was too angry at Min. You mean? Min seemed to have realized something. Who's the ultimate victim? Chu continued to ask. Me and you. Min reacted quickly. Suyu had been slandered, and this matter concerned two people. One was her, and the other was Chu. Because she was now surrounded by negative news, Chu was also implicated. That's right. That's why I think the mastermind's goal isn't to do anything to Suyu. After all, the Suyu's power is there. Suyu wouldn't have done this anyway. You stood out to testify, which should be exactly what he wants. You're jealous of the time you met Suyu, including the strange death of that woman. This matter is very strange. After Chu finished speaking solemnly, Min also fell into deep thought. That's right. Previously, she only cared about testifying for Suyu to clear his name and didn't think too much about other things. Now, it seemed like Suyu was fine to begin with. The ones who were really affected were her and Chu. Then, if this theory is correct, then this person is too scary. Not only did he know the exact time I met Suyu, but he also planned the woman's death. Most importantly, if I didn't testify, then his hopes would have been dashed, but he tricked me into coming out. So, this person might know you very well, Chu said slowly as he placed Min's hand on his chest. Could it be? Min looked at Chu with her eyes wide open. She seemed to have an answer in her heart. Yes, the person you're thinking of is also my candidate. It's just that we don't have any evidence. Chu nodded. He could guess who Min was referring to. This matter concerns a life. I really don't want it to be him. Maybe he has more than one life in his hands. He's always been a decisive person. Min didn't say anything after hearing this, but her heart turned cold. She couldn't imagine that a human life could be used to achieve a certain goal. Of course, she didn't have any evidence. It was just a small inference. Right now, the enemy is in the dark while we're in the light. No matter what, we're at a disadvantage, and it's very difficult to investigate. If we don't do it right, we might alert the enemy. Yes, I really didn't care before. I didn't think so much about it. The key is, what's his goal? Is it just to smear my name? I've already done enough bad things about me. There's nothing to be afraid of, and he won't get anything out of it, right? Huamin couldn't figure out that person's ultimate goal was to smear her name. It wasn't worth it to pay such a big price. Is it a big enough price for you to leave me? Xianxia asked back. Huamin was slightly stunned. Chapter 931. If I leave you, what good would that do him? Huamin looked at Xianxia in surprise. That depends on him. After all, we're not him, so we can't guess what he's thinking. But, speaking of which, that's just what I think. I don't have any proof that it's him. That's one of his smarts. He never leaves any evidence behind, Huamin commented. This was why she and Xianxia had never liked him since they were kids. Xianxia remained silent and agreed with Huamin. On this matter, the two of them were on the same page. Honey, I suddenly have an idea. Huamin turned her head and looked at Xianxia up close with a hint of excitement in her eyes. What is it? I think we can continue to pretend that we're in a cold war. Then we can beat him at his own game and see how far he can go. Since we're already in the game, why not play along? No, that's too dangerous. I'm afraid it'll be bad for you. Xianxia secretly tightened his grip on Huamin's hand, as if he was afraid that he would lose her at any moment. It won't be dangerous. Actually, if he wanted to do something to me, he had plenty of chances to do so. He wouldn't go through so much trouble. I really want to see what kind of game he's playing. Huamin's intuition tells her that there won't be any danger. It was because she didn't know what he was up to that she was curious and wanted to continue investigating. Before Xianxia could say anything, Huamin added, Honey, even if we're safe this time, it doesn't mean it'll be the same next time. He might continue to cause trouble and lead us into a trap. I think we should take advantage of this opportunity and beat him at his own game. If we put on an act together, we won't be exposed, right? But even if it's just an act, the Cold War will still continue. That way, I won't be able to see you or hug you. Xianxia obviously didn't want to. Aren't we trying to lure the snake out of its hole? It's not like it's real. We can contact each other in private and send WeChat messages. Didn't you install anti-eavesdropping sensors on our phones? It's not like they'll find our phones. Huamin smiled. Xianxia didn't say anything. What Huamin said was indeed reasonable. Although the method was a bit risky, it was not a good idea to be passive all the time. This time, he had used Su Yu and Zhao Xia's death. Who knew what would happen next time? After struggling for a long time, he finally gave in to Huamin's pestering. Xianxia nodded reluctantly. Huamin happily pecked the corner of his mouth, her eyes full of happiness. Honey, thank you for your hard work. We have to work together against the enemy. Huamin was instantly filled with positive energy. You have to promise me that as soon as you see danger, you will immediately stop the plan. Don't let anything happen to you. If you don't, I will never forgive you. I know. Huamin playfully stuck out her tongue. She felt like Xianxia was overly nervous. She wasn't made of paper. How could she be that weak? In the end, Xianxia reluctantly left Southside and drove back to Imperial Park. Huamin, on the other hand, continued to work the night shift. The next morning, a piece of news once again attracted the attention of the entire city. A tabloid published an even more shocking piece of news. GK's CEO, Xianxia, met with a mysterious woman in the middle of the night and is suspected of having an affair. As soon as the news came out, it caused another uproar. Huamin seduced Su Yu first, and Xianxia met with a woman he didn't know. Were the two of them going to heaven? The worst part was that there was a blurry photo attached to the article. In Xianxia's car, there was a long-haired woman in the back seat, but her face couldn't be seen clearly. However, it definitely wasn't Huamin. Huamin's hair was shoulder length, not waist length. Zhu Lingling lost her cool as soon as she got off the plane. She immediately drove straight to South Side. As soon as she entered the office, she grabbed Huamin by the collar and dragged him outside. Sis, what are you doing? It's still early in the morning, I haven't gotten off work yet. What work? Your husband is running away with someone, did you know that? Zhu Lingling's face was filled with anger. Chapter 932. Huh? Who did he run off with? Huamin couldn't stop laughing. You're still laughing, you should be more careful. After speaking, Zhu Lingling took out a newspaper from her bag and threw it on Huamin's desk. Look, the date of the photo shows that it was 11:40 p.m. last night. It was so late, but Qin Chu was in the car with a woman, and that woman wasn't you. Do you know what the worst part is? I don't know. Huamin shook his head adorably and cooperated with Zhu Lingling. Look at what the newspaper says. This photo was taken at the entrance of Imperial Park. The car drove into the neighborhood, which means that your husband brought a woman home last night. Did you know that? I don't know. Huamin shook his head again. He brought a woman home last night, what about you? Where did you go? Zhu Lingling asked anxiously. He was on duty. I was at the hospital the whole time. What the do you still want to be on duty? Something so big happened and you're still in the mood to be on duty? I thought you two fought and you went back to South Hill Manor, but you're actually at the hospital. You must be drunk. Huamin looked at the time of the photo and smiled, because Qin Chu happened to show up at Southside Recuperation Center at around midnight. It would take at least 20 minutes to get from Imperial Park to Southside. This meant that after Qin Chu dropped Xianxia off, he immediately came to Southside. How could he have cheated on her? If there really was something going on, Qin Chu wouldn't have brought her back to Imperial Park so openly. Wasn't that just asking for death? Which man would swagger home with a mistress? His wife wasn't dead? Lingling, don't be impulsive. Haha, I don't think it's as serious as you think. Not serious? Don't lie to me. Gao Ran told me that you and Qin Chu are in a cold war. Qin Chu's been in a bad mood lately, and you don't even talk to him in a good tone. Ever since you testified for Su Yu, the entire situation changed. Why did you have to testify for Su Yu? That guy was born with a diamond spoon in his mouth. He'll be fine without your help. Why did you have to get involved in this mess? Brat, what do we do now? Zhu Lingling was especially worried about Huamin. She had watched her since high school. It wasn't easy to live a happy life, but it just couldn't be peaceful. Every now and then, someone would come and disturb it. She really had to worry about him. Seeing how worried Zhu Lingling was, Huamin was very touched. Lingling, I believe in Qin Chu. He wouldn't do anything to hurt me. I won't listen to what the media is saying. Those tabloids love to stir up trouble. They keep saying that Su Yu and I are having an affair. The truth is, there really isn't anything going on between Su Yu and me. Huamin explained, but the rumors are going crazy. They're all saying that you two are having fun on your own and that your marriage exists in name only. They're saying that you signed the divorce agreement a long time ago and are just waiting for the right time to announce it. Go on Weibo and see how many paparazzi are talking about it. Then let them talk. Time will prove everything. Huamin remained calm. However, she couldn't tell Lingling about her plan with Qin Chu. It wasn't that she was worried that Lingling would betray her. It was that the fewer people who knew about it, the better. After all, dealing with people wasn't an easy thing. The pressure of public opinion was just a process. In the end, it all depended on the people involved. If Qin Chu didn't come last night, she might have exploded in anger. After all, ever since Xianxia came back to China, she had been giving Huamin trouble. Are you stupid? I mean, what if this thing turns out to be true? What if Qin Chu really is having an affair? What should we do? Zhu Lingling had been flying all over the country, so she didn't know much about Xianxia. However, she had heard about her from Gao Ran. After all, she was Mayor Song's daughter and had a powerful family background. Zhu Lingling was worried that one day, Huamin would lose to her because of her family background. If he wants to do that, no one can stop him. If a man doesn't love you, then everything you say and do is wrong. Even if you kneel down and kowtow, It won't change anything. If a man loves you, then no matter how badly you're slandered, no matter how many opponents you meet, you'll always be safe and sound. By now, Huamin had completely recovered. In her heart, this was how Qin Chu should be. The man she loved wasn't a shallow jerk, nor was he a man who couldn't withstand the test of time. What if one day, you have no choice but to get a divorce? When that time comes, will you really be able to handle it? Zhu Lingling asked as she looked at Huamin, her heart aching. Chapter 933. If that day really comes, I'll have to accept it even if I don't want to, Huamin replied in all seriousness. No, I'm going to talk to Qin Chu. I'm going to yell at him. What the hell is going on? Just because of Su Yu, he's causing so much trouble. Did he have to find some long-haired woman? I'm so mad. As Huamin's worst friend, Zhu Lingling wasn't very smart, but she was definitely kind-hearted and loyal. Seeing that Huamin was being treated like this, she was so angry that she wanted to go to GK's headquarters and demand an explanation. However, Huamin quickly pulled her back. My lady, don't do this. Don't go to GK and cause trouble. So many media outlets are watching our every move. If you do this, you'll only make things worse. But if I don't do anything, I'll be so mad. Zhu Lingling complained. You can complain to Gao Ran, then use your beauty to conquer him and get some useful information from me. After all, he's Qin Chu's best friend, so he might know a lot of insider information. That makes sense. Why didn't I think of that? That bastard even invited me to eat little idiot's pig trotters. Okay, let's do this. I'll get some information from that guy, and I'll tell you later. Okay. Huamin nodded. Then you have to hang in there. Don't worry about what those people say, okay? Zhu Lingling patted Huamin's shoulder and reminded him. I will, don't worry about me. Then Zhu Lingling left in a hurry. After the negative news came out, the outside world was abuzz, but Southside was very quiet. Everyone liked Huamin, so they might gossip about him in private. However, no one told her about this, so she was okay. Things weren't as bad as she thought. Dr. Hua, someone's looking for you. Okay. Huamin went out after organizing the information and saw Xie Wan. She was still wearing an old pink down jacket. The style was old and the color wasn't as bright as it used to be. The cotton-padded shoes on her feet were also handmade and were not exquisite. However, Huamin liked seeing Xie Wan's down-to-earth appearance. Miss Xie, you're here. The surgery's tomorrow. Did you remember the date wrong? Huamin's TT? No, I know it's tomorrow. I actually came today to see Ni Yang. You want to see him? Huamin was a bit. Yeah, because I can't take care of him after the surgery, right? I'm right? T's right, so I want to see him before the surgery. What? What want to see him? Hua, teet, I know. I'm prepared for it. I just want to see him. Xie Wan was holding a few apples and bananas in her hands. She looked so shabby. Let's go. I'll take you there. Inside the VIP ward on the top floor, Ni Yang was watching TV leisurely. Ever since Huamin told him what illness he was suffering from, he didn't let his imagination run wild. He ate well, slept well, and had a normal schedule. All he had to do was wait for the transplant surgery. Therefore, he was in a much better condition. He was even a little chubbier than before. Sister Yingzi was busy with the press conference for Ni Yang's endorsement, so she wasn't present. Only her assistant was at the door. Dr. Hua. Is Ni Yang inside? Yeah, he's watching TV. Huamin nodded and walked in with Xie Wan. Huamin? Ni Yang was about to greet Huamin with a smile. However, when he saw Xie Wan behind her, his face immediately turned cold. Why you here? I heard you were sick, so I came to see you. Xie Wan walked over and carefully placed the fruits on the bedside table. However, Ni Yang pushed the fruits off the table and scattered them all over the floor. Get out of here. Get out of here right now. I don't want to see you for the rest of my life. Upon seeing Xie Wan, Ni Yang became agitated, and his eyes were filled with hatred. Chapter 934. And Yang, don't be impulsive. She's just here to see you. Huamin tried to comfort Yang. Huamin, you should know my story. I don't want to talk about it. Tell her to leave now. Yang roared. This was the first time he was so angry that even Huamin was shocked. Xiaowan squatted on the ground and picked up the scattered fruits. Then, she placed them on the windowsill and looked at Yang with a complicated expression. Don't be angry, I'll leave right away. I heard that you were sick, so I came to see you. Take care of yourself. Even if I die, it's none of your business. Don't pretend to be a good person, Yang scolded angrily. I know. Anyway, take care of yourself. Xiaowan looked at Yang reluctantly and turned around sadly. Huamin followed her out. Ms. Xie, I think that if you told him what happened, he wouldn't hate you so much. Xiaowan shook her head. I hurt him too much and I owe him too much. Don't talk about it, it's okay. I deserve it. After sending Xiaowan off, Huamin continued to work. She didn't care about what was going on outside. After work, as soon as she walked to the door, she was surrounded by reporters. Miss Huamin, what do you think about the photo of your husband cheating on you? Do you know the woman in the photo? Or did you know about it a long time ago? Are you really just pretending to be in love with each other? Ms. Huamin, did you sign the divorce agreement? How did you split up the assets? There are rumors that you're going to ask for a huge amount of alimony, right? Ms. Huamin, I heard that the conflict between the two of you is because you don't have children. Does your status as a rich man have anything to do with that? What's your relationship with Suyu? Will you consider dating him after your divorce? Huamin was about to go crazy from the media's bombardment. The questions he asked were indeed very ridiculous. If it had been in the past, she would have immediately rebuked the media. But now she couldn't. As she still had to continue acting, Huamin remained silent for 3 seconds before she said, "Thank you for your concern. I'm fine. As for my family matters, it's not convenient for me to talk about them. I believe that time will prove everything. What will come will come." After mumbling these words, Huamian got into her car and drove away. However, an hour later, the media misinterpreted Huamin's words as, "A young lady of GK tacitly admits that their marriage has changed, seems to have already agreed to divorce." After Huamin got off work, he drove straight back to Sky Blessing Court. This incident was getting bigger and bigger, and it was even being reported on TV and radio. Yang Meirong was restless at home. She had already called Huamin multiple times. Huamin didn't think she could explain things over the phone, so she went home and talked to her mother in person. Hurry up and tell me, what's going on between you and Qin Chu? What mysterious long-haired beauty? What infidelity? What the hell is going on? Mom, it's nothing, don't worry. Huamin smiled as she took off her jacket and sat down on the sofa in the living room. She picked up a crystal pear and began nibbling on it. Aya, my child, you're still in the mood to eat pears? You're so big-hearted. Yang Meirong snatched the crystal pear away and looked at her daughter worriedly. Mom, what do you want to ask? Are you and Qin Chu getting a divorce? Yang Meirong asked with a serious expression. Then did Qin Chu cheat? Or did you cheat? I've seen a lot of things on TV, I'm confused. Yang Meirong still didn't understand who was cheating. So, she didn't know the details. Mom, who do you think is cheating? Huamin asked with a smile. Don't beat around the bush with me. Hurry up and tell me, I'm so worried. I haven't had a sip of water all day. Yang Meirong couldn't handle things well. She couldn't stay calm at the slightest sign of trouble. We'll talk about this later. Mom, let me ask you a question first. Did Uncle Jing have any foreign friends when he was alive? Or business partners? Like, someone from the Netherlands? Huamin asked tentatively. Chapter 935. Foreign countries? I don't know them. Yang Meirong was confused by Huamin's sudden change in topic. 1 second she was asking about her relationship with Qin Chu, and the next she was talking about Jingde, who had passed away. Think about it carefully. Do you have any relatives? Do you contact them on the phone occasionally? No, your Uncle Jing doesn't have many relatives. Ever since he got together with me, he barely had any relatives. He was introverted and didn't like to communicate. Plus, he didn't even graduate from elementary school. Where would he find foreign friends? Plus, he doesn't know any foreign languages. Why are you asking? Oh, nothing. I was just asking. Huamin didn't mention her birth to Yang Meirum. After all, her mother didn't know the truth. If she found out one day that Huamian wasn't her biological daughter, she would be very disappointed, right? Or she would be very sad. Don't change the topic. Tell me about you and Qin Chu. Mom, we're really fine. The media is just making things up. Don't listen to them. As long as I don't tell you that I'm divorcing Qin Chu, don't believe me. Don't lie to me. Are you really okay? Yang Meirong asked again worriedly. We're really fine. Mom, I swear I'm not lying to you. Huamin raised her hand and swore. However, her mother immediately slapped it away. Don't swear, it's bad luck. Okay, since you're fine, I'm not worried anymore. Are you hungry? I'm going to cook. Handmade noodles. Thanks. This girl, of all things, why does she eat those weird things? Although Yang Meirong said that, she still went into the kitchen to make noodles for Huamin. Huamin was scrolling through her WeChat friend circle on her phone. A lot of people asked her about this, but she didn't reply because she didn't know them well. Huamin, come out. No one but Jiang Xiaowei could use such a domineering tone. What's up? Huamin sent a smiley face. The photo that was leaked today looks like that little bitch Song Yisher. You can see it even though it's so blurry. You must be a god. Huamin truly admired Jiang Xiaowei. What's going on? It's only been a few days since you and Qin Chu met. You and Su Yu, and he and Song Yisher, are you both having an affair? Jiang Xiaowei asked with a smile. That's right. That's why I'm thinking of getting a huge amount of alimony so that I can leave as soon as possible. Not bad, not bad. Rich man, please take me in. With GK's financial resources, you'll get a lot of alimony. Of course. Follow me from now on. I'll bring you to show off and soar. Ha! You really know how to talk nonsense. Jiang Xiaowei laughed. How have you been? How's the wedding planning going? Pretty good. Wei Liao lets me make all the decisions. But I really don't like his parents. They talk about money all the time. They're such vulgar people. But Wei Ying is pretty good. My sister-in-law has been chasing a young man like crazy. That's a hot topic. If your sister-in-law likes him, he must be extraordinary. Yeah, he's the young master of the Shen family. He just came back to China and attended Su Yu's birthday party. I think he's very low-key, but I heard he's very popular. Hui Yanyan is also chasing him, and there are a few other socialites in Song Yisher's group. It's hard to say who will win him in the end. Is he that popular? Is he good-looking? Huamin gossiped, which was rare for him. How should I put it? He's at least as good as Ai Yang. My gosh, no wonder they're all trying so hard to get him. But Hui Yanyan probably doesn't have any advantages. She seems to be having a hard time lately, Huamin analyzed. Don't worry about her. Just worry about yourself, sis. People are saying you're going to get a divorce. Huh, what do you think? I think, if people are saying you're going to get a divorce, you'll be fine. But if people say you're still in love, then you'll be in danger. After all, you're such a weirdo, your style is different from others, right? Sure enough, Jiang Xiaowei was smart enough to analyze Huamin's situation. Jiang Xiaowei didn't care what the media said. When she talked to Huamin, she saw Huamin's attitude and knew she was fine. Otherwise, why would she be chatting with her on WeChat? She probably went somewhere to cry. Okay, Dr. Jiang, you know me best. But then again, how are you going to deal with Song Yisher? Every time I see her, I'm pissed. Jiang Xiaowei asked Huamin through a voice message as she drank yogurt. Chapter 936. Teach her a lesson? Why would I teach her a lesson? Huamin was speechless. Isn't she preoccupied with Qin Chu? Even a blind person can tell. How could a smart person like you not know? Ever since I got together with Qin Chu, I've gotten used to all kinds of people. The key is that Qin Chu doesn't care, so I'm not angry. But Song Yisher is a really difficult person to deal with. She's a bit contradictory, sometimes good and sometimes bad. People like her are the hardest to deal with because she's fickle and she's a hypocrite. That's right, so the sooner we get rid of her, the sooner we can be at ease. We still have to get rid of the weeds, Jiang Shaowei reminded. She's not that easy to deal with. Her identity alone is very powerful. You're worried about Mayor's Song? Jiang Shaowei asked back. That's not it. I just feel like Song Yishe hasn't really done anything yet. If I act rashly, I might fall into her trap. So, it's better to wait and see. That's a good idea. Anyway, if you need my time, just let me know. Although I'm pregnant, I can still help you. Thank you, Dr. Jiang. Go away, don't talk to me, okay? I'm going to sleep. I've been sleeping a lot lately. After chatting with Jiang Shaowei, her mother made a bowl of handmade noodles. It was very simple, she only put some vegetables in it. It was fragrant and tasted just right. It was oily but not greasy. Mom, it's delicious. Teach me how to make noodles. When I'm old, I'll find a nameless town and open a noodle shop. I'll live until I die. Huamin praised her mother's cooking as she ate. You're so useless. You're a doctor, but you're going to sell noodles in the future. Yang Meirong looked at her daughter. She was both angry and amused. After dinner, the mother asked them to leave. Since the two of you are fine, you should go home early. Now that you don't have a child, it's inevitable that outsiders will gossip about you. Hurry up and have a baby. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I can't have the baby just because I want it. It's not that easy to get pregnant. Do you know how complicated it is? The probability is very low. Moreover, only one sperm can survive, and it has to run as fast as possible because each egg only has to wait for 48 hours before it closes. What nonsense is this? I don't understand. Hold on tight to the baby. Yang Mirong had issued a death order. All right. I'll try my best. Because he was afraid that his mother would be worried, Huamin couldn't stay in Sky Blessing Court any longer. However, for the sake of her plan, she could not return to Imperial Park, so she returned to South Hill Manor. A young lady. Uncle Li and the maids bowed respectfully when they saw Huamin. Thank you all for your hard work. A young lady, do you need me to prepare dinner? Uncle Li asked politely. No, it's okay. I already ate. Then, will Mr. Hua be back later? Uncle Li and the others seemed to have read the news and understood the conflict between a young lady and their master. He won't be back. You don't have to prepare dinner for him. Okay. Huamin walked upstairs to her bedroom, put down her bag and phone, and took a shower. When she came out, she heard her phone ringing. She looked at the caller ID and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. After a moment of hesitation, she picked it up. Huamin? Yes. I'm Song Yishe. I recognize you, Huamin replied calmly. I'm sorry to bother you so late at night. It's okay. What is it? Can I have a cup of coffee with you? I'm in your coffee shop. It's late. Isn't it inconvenient? Huamin seemed like she wanted to refuse. I have something to talk to you about. I hope you can come. What is it that's inconvenient to talk about over the phone? Huamin asked with a smile. It's about Qin Chu. I want to talk to you in person, Song Yishe replied. Okay, wait for me. Upon hearing that it was about Qin Chu, Huamin decided to go without hesitation. Even if Song Yishe was a ferocious beast, she would still go. She wanted to see what other tricks this woman had up her sleeves. Chapter 937. When he arrived at the cafe, he saw Song Yishe sitting by the window on the second floor. It was winter, so she only wore a black woolen jacket, a pair of simple pencil pants, and a pair of heels. Song Yishe had good taste. Because she had been in Italy for many years and was an artist, she was especially good at dressing up. Huamin, on the other hand, wouldn't rather be cold to dress up, so he bought a few cotton-padded jackets. Today, he was wearing a white jacket with cartoon beauties on it. It was a very cute cotton-padded jacket. It was a stark contrast to Song Yishe's black jacket. Sorry, there was a traffic jam. I'm not late, am I? Huamin slowly walked out of the door. He didn't drive fast because he wanted to make Song Yisher wait a little longer. Unexpectedly, this woman had surprisingly good endurance. She only smiled elegantly. "It's okay, I understand. What do you want to drink? I'll order for you." "A hotla." Huamin didn't argue and nodded. "Waiter, a hotla, thank you." Song Yisher waved her hand and smiled as she greeted the waiter. Because she was good-looking, she was a beauty that attracted a lot of attention wherever she went. People at the nearby tables kept looking over and whispering, "I wonder why Miss Song is looking for me?" Huamin took off his jacket and placed it on the chair behind him. Then, he glanced at Song Yisher who was sitting across from him. She was smiling the whole time, but her words were very sharp. "Huamin, you don't have to be so polite. Just call me Xianxia. It feels weird when you call me Miss Song. I don't think I'm that familiar with you yet. Also, I'm more used to calling you Miss Song." Huamin didn't feel that it was hypocritical to be friends with this woman who was like a love rival. "Okay, you can call me whatever you like." Song Yisher had a good temper. She didn't directly dislike Huamin like Jiang Linyue, nor did she blatantly love Qin Chu like Lu Xing. She always drifted between the lines and had a good grasp of it. She was neither too overboard nor too boring. She was elegant and polite to everyone, and her words weren't too annoying. Many people said that Song Yisher was well-mannered because she came from a high-ranking family. In fact, Huamin thought that women like her were the scariest. She could be friends with you one second, and the next second, you'll die without a burial of any kind. Therefore, even if Song Yisher wasn't interested in Qin Chu, Huamian didn't want to befriend a woman like her. From her perspective, this woman definitely wasn't easy to deal with. She was different from Jiang Xiaowei. Jiang Xiaowei was smart, domineering, and arrogant, but Jiang Xiaowei was open and straightforward. If she liked someone, she would like them. If she didn't like them, she wouldn't even look at them. However, Song Yisher was different. Regardless of whether she liked or disliked someone, she wouldn't show it. That was the scariest part about her. You never knew when she was going to make a move, so Huamin was always on guard. However, it was also very tiring for him. "Didn't you call me today to talk about Qin Chu? Tell me, I'm actually very interested in anything about my husband." Huamin picked up the coffee spoon and stirred it, then slowly said, "Huamin, to be honest, the woman in the photo that the media exposed today is me," Song Yisher slowly said as she looked into Huamin's eyes. Chapter 938. Yeah. Huamin nodded. He didn't know what she was trying to say. "But we didn't do what the media said. You know, I live at Imperial Park as well. We had dinner together last night, so he dropped me off. It wasn't just the two of us, there were other families as well. Qin Chu didn't know that we were going to have dinner together. He came back at the last minute and saw my dad. The two of them talked about the Land King. I think it's normal, so I hope you don't misunderstand." "Yeah, and then?" Huamin asked calmly. "Then, as you can see, we were photographed by the media, so there was a misunderstanding that we were having an affair. I'm going to explain it to you immediately. Don't misunderstand Qin Chu, he cares about you a lot. I don't want to see any flaws in your relationship because of me. I didn't misunderstand, you're thinking too much. I'm afraid you'll think too much about what the media said. Plus, after Qin Chu dropped me off last night, he went home as well. There's nothing going on between us. There are videos in the neighborhood, you can take a look for yourself." "I know, so you came here today to explain yourself?" Huamian looked at Song Yisher. She had a feeling that Song Yisher's motive wasn't as simple as it seemed. "That's right, I'm here to explain. Huamin, it's true that I have feelings for Qin Chu, but I also know that he's married and that he loves you, so I don't want to play any tricks. I didn't ask you to forgive me or anything, I just hope that as the person involved, you won't misunderstand. Everyone else can misunderstand, but you can't, because the person he cares about the most is you. You sound like you know my husband very well." Huamin smiled. "The truth is, I do know him very well." Song Yisher was full of confidence. Then Huamin burst out laughing. "What are you laughing at? Do you think I'm lying?" Song Yisher looked at Huamin and asked gently. "No, I'm just curious." You haven't had the chance to meet him since you were 8 years old, so how do you know him so well? I've been by his side for so long, but I don't dare to say that I truly understand him. So, do you really understand him? Or do you think you know it very well? Huamin's words were full of mockery. Indeed, a woman who met Qin Chu when she was 8 years old and had not interacted with him for nearly 20 years kept saying that she knew her husband. She felt that it was unscientific. Understanding a person doesn't depend on how long you've been with him. Some couples may not know the true colors of their other half even though they've been together for a lifetime. However, I feel that Qin Chu's true colors have already been revealed to me. You may feel uncomfortable when I say this, but I believe that the Qin Chu I see is the Qin Chu that I know. So what? No matter how you understand him, he is still my husband. Huamin was still smiling when he said this. She knew how to do what Song Yisher did. She was going to give her a taste of her own medicine. She was going to use what she learned on the spot and say things that hurt. As expected, after hearing this, Song Yisher's expression changed. However, she quickly recovered, which meant that she was still very rational. She looked at Huamin with a smile and said, "So you're very lucky? If you're so lucky, you should cherish it. You shouldn't get too close to Suyu. That day at the party, Suyu hurt you a little bit. Luckily, you didn't die, or else you would feel very guilty. In the end, I do have something to say about this. Miss Song, you should be careful when you choose your best friends in the future. You shouldn't hang out with brainless people, they'll lower your IQ. Your best friends are obviously not as smart as you, but it's true, there aren't many people in the world as smart as Miss Song. Geniuses are always lonely." Huamin didn't feel embarrassed because of Su Yu's incident. Instead, he rebutted Song Yisher. "Huamin, you're really good at this." Song Yisher looked at Huamin with a deep gaze and an eerie smile on her face. Chapter 939. Miss Song, why would you say that? Huamin pretended to be dumb. Nothing. I used to think that since Qin Chu is such an outstanding man, there must be a lot of women trying their best to be by his side. However, in the end, he only chose you and got married so quickly. I used to think that it was because he couldn't let go of his many years of high school romance that he was so stubborn about you. Now, it seems like you're amazing. If I were a man, I'd like you too, right? Thank you, Miss Song, for your high praise. I'm not that special. I, Huamin, am just an ordinary person. I can cry, I can laugh, I can cry, and I can protect the people I love. If someone wants to ruin our relationship, then I'll definitely face them head-on. I'm not the kind of person who'll stand by and do nothing while those pretentious bitches try to ruin our relationship. You're right, we should take good care of him. Song Yisher didn't want to continue arguing with Huamian. She smiled faintly and picked up her coffee. Miss Song, is there anything else? Not, then I'm leaving. I'm a little tired from working the night shift recently. No, I just wanted to explain to you about the photo. Okay then, I'll be leaving first. Waiter, the bill please. Song Yisher waved her hand elegantly. It's okay, it's my treat. Huamin smiled generously, picked up his bag and left. When he first bought this street, it was half dead. Now, the 13 shops had been refurbished and had become one of the most popular pedestrian streets in the city. There wasn't a single waiter in the cafe who didn't know their boss. Therefore, Song Yisher's table was free of charge, but Song Yisher still wanted to pay the bill? What kind of joke was this? This was her territory. On the way back, Qin Chu sent her a video call. She fixed her phone on a small stand in front of the steering wheel. Hello, Mr. Qin. Pretty good mood, where did you go? I went to meet Suyu. Huamin laughed maniacally. If you come over now, I promise I won't strangle you to death, Qin Chu said seriously. I love it when my husband gets jealous. He's so cute. What kind of hobby is this? Qin Chu was speechless. Was his wife's goal to torture him? Build her happiness on top of his pain? Where did you drive to? Back to South Hill Manor. Didn't you go back? Uncle Lee had already informed him earlier, and he could see the situation at South Hill Manor through the surveillance camera on his phone. Before he got off work, he saw Huamin's car go back. Yes, she went back, but she came out again, had a cup of coffee, and then came back. Coffee? With whom? Qin Chu was a little surprised. Take a guess. What do I get if I get it right? Qin Chu asked. 100 yuan. Huamin raised one finger. Qin Chu shook his head. 500 yuan. Qin Chu still shook his head. 1,000 yuan, that's all I can give you. Huamin gritted her teeth and raised the bonus to the maximum. I don't want money. If I get it right, you have to kiss me. How can I kiss you? You're not with me. Through the screen, Qin. That's awkward, okay? Huamin had never done something so low. Just tell me if you can or can't. Qin Chu teased her on purpose. Sure, but you only have one chance. If you get it wrong, you have to kiss me through the screen. Huamin began to show off. She didn't think Qin Chu would get it right, because Qin Chu would probably guess that it was Jiang Shaowei and Zhu Lingling. After all, Huamin drinking coffee with Song Yishe was something no one expected. Sure, Mr. Qin said confidently. Okay, take a guess. Huamian was proud of herself as she hummed the song Back to 17, which was sung by a popular reality show contestant. The lyrics were also very high-key. The sun shines in the sky, the flowers smile at me. The bird says good morning, why are you carrying? Before she could finish singing, Qin Chu sat in his office chair and said to Huamin, Song Yishe. Chapter 940. Huh. Huamin purposely played dumb. I'm guessing that the person you had coffee with was Song Yishe. You cheated, did you already know? Huamin thought it was too weird. She got it right on the first try. I didn't know, I just deduced it. How did you deduce it? Tell me. Huamin was obviously not convinced. Zhu Lingling said in the WeChat group that she's flying south tonight, and Jiang Shaowei is pregnant so she can't drink coffee. Most importantly, you were so confident that I guessed it was someone I didn't expect, so I guessed it was her. Your brain is so twisted that you're not human. Did you assemble it? Huamian was completely speechless. Qin Chu wouldn't cheat, so he definitely didn't know about her meeting with Song Yishe. And judging from her conversation with Song Yishe, she wouldn't tell Qin Chu of her own accord. So, Qin Chu really did deduce it based on his deductions. Wasn't he too meticulous? She was starting to suspect that Mr. Qin was a Virgo. His deductions were almost on par with Detective Conan. Fine, you win. Huamin couldn't be smug anymore. The song of the little fresh meat drifted out of the car. Back then, I had to memorize all those rules and regulations, but after so many years, I finally learned them. Cheers for the first time, sweet and bitter. I still feel intoxicated when I think about it. Come on, baby. Qin Chu saw that his wife was no longer smug, so he didn't dare to laugh. Instead, he put on a serious expression and moved his face closer. Mr. Qin, this isn't good, right? Huamin was very embarrassed. Only teenage boys and girls would do something as mushy as kissing each other through a screen. She was an adult in her 20s, and she was also the most famous Dr. Hua at Southside. If this got out, her reputation would be ruined. Honey, you have to keep your word. Otherwise, how are you going to educate the baby? Qin Chu said seriously. Oh, okay, I got it. Huamin bit the bullet and slowly parked the car on the side of the road. Then, she closed her eyes and kissed the screen softly. I saved it. I'm going to keep this video for the rest of my life. Qin Chu said proudly. Qin Chu, you bastard, you bastard. Huamin was about to go crazy. His embarrassing appearance was actually recorded. How was he going to face his parents in Jiangdong? What do you think Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling would say if I sent it to our group? Qin Chu smiled. Huamian immediately gave in. Honey, please have mercy on me. Call me Hua a bastard. My lord husband. Call me Hua a bastard. Don't call me Hua a bastard. Huamin was like a little whiny wife. Say Hua a bastard. Hua a bastard. Say Hua a bastard, you're so handsome. Hua a bastard, you're so handsome. Huamin repeated Qin Chu's words like a broken record. He looked obedient on the surface, but on the inside he was about to collapse. If he kept playing like this, would he be ruined by Mr. Qin? How embarrassing. He dug his own grave and jumped into it. Why did he have to guess who he was having coffee with? What a moron. Say hoi bastard, I want it. Huamin was speechless. Say it. Qin Chu, do you have any shame? Huamin asked slowly. Hearing this, Qin Chu couldn't help but laugh out loud. Huamian's heart was filled with warmth and happiness as she looked at the man in the video. His smile was so bright and handsome. Hoi bastard, I really miss you. Huamin looked at the man on the other side of the video and said affectionately. Qin Chu felt as if a soft spot in his heart had melted. At this moment, all the voices in the world couldn't compare to Huamin's, Hoi bastard, I really miss you. Chapter 941. Honey, how about we don't carry out that plan? I'll go back and find you. Qin Chu had been thinking about Huamin the entire day. The more he watched the video, the more he missed him. No, or else all our efforts will go to waste. Just bear with it for a few days, honey. Huamin seemed to really want to find out who was behind all this. Qin Chu looked at her eagerly. They chatted for a while on the way back to South Hill Manor, and it was already past 9 p.m. Huamin took a hot shower and went to bed. He took out a book and started reading. The maid brought him a fruit platter and hot milk, and the service was very good. Just then his phone rang again. Seeing the number, Huamin immediately put down his book and picked up the phone. Zhixin. Sis, are you asleep? Not yet, I'm reading. I knew you wouldn't sleep so early. How are you? Are you used to it? I'm used to it, it's great. The scenery here is beautiful. Sis, if you have time, you can ask my brother-in-law to come visit me. I'll take you guys out to eat good food. Sis, how have you been? Jing Zhixin asked carefully. Very good. You're lying to me again. My classmate told me on QQ about what happened. The media has been saying that you guys are getting a divorce. You believe the media? Are you stupid? But there's no smoke without fire. Did something happen between you and my brother-in-law? No, don't worry about it. Really? Zhixin still didn't believe her. Really, my good little brother, don't worry. That's good. Then Zhixin suddenly said, Sis, I've been dreaming about you a lot lately. Is that so? At the mention of Huang Yu, the tone of the two people became heavy. Yeah, I always dream of her looking at me from afar. Every time I want to get close to her, she's gone. She's so untouchable. Zhixin, the dead can't come back to life. You have to accept it. Life is a one-way ticket, and all of us will get off eventually. She just saw the beautiful scenery on the way, so she got off first. We'll all have the same day, so don't take it too hard. I know, I'm just sad. I once told her that I wanted to work for my brother-in-law's company, earn money to buy a house, marry her, and then go to province for our honeymoon. Unfortunately, these wishes can't come true. You've always loved her deeply, but it's all in the past. Zhixin, she's already a part of your life, but that's all in the past. I'm not asking you to forget her, I just want you to learn to let go of her, understand? I understand. Okay, big sister, I'm going out for a while. You should sleep early. After hanging up on Zhixin, Huamin still felt bad. Huang Yu was a huge blow to Zhixin, and he wouldn't be able to get over it in a short period of time. She didn't want to be like an auntie who always nagged Zhixin about chicken soup for the soul. But occasionally she would try to guide him out of his sorrow. In fact, life was a process of constant gain and loss. All of us would experience it. Our family, lovers, and friends would all leave us one day. So even if we were sad, it wouldn't help. Occasionally, she would choose some more literary books to read to recharge herself. Recently, she had been very fond of a poet called Zhongyang Gyatso. He had a poem called That Life, which was very famous. Huamin opened Weibo and posted it. She said, I closed my eyes in the fragrance of the scripture hall. Suddenly, I heard you chanting the scriptures. That month I shook all the scripture cylinders, not for transcendence, only for touching your fingertips. That year I kowtowed on the mountain road, not for an audience, only for the warmth of your body. That life turning mountains, rivers, pagodas, Not for the afterlife, only for meeting you on the way. That moment I raised the wind horse, not to beg for blessings, only to wait for your arrival. That day I built a money pile, not for the virtue, only to throw stones into the lake of your heart. That night I listened to Sanskrit all night, not for enlightenment, only to find a trace of your breath. That moment I flew and became an immortal, not for immortality, only to bless you with peace and joy. That day, that month, that year, that life, it's just that night. I forgot everything. I abandoned my faith and gave up reincarnation only for the rose that once cried in front of the Buddha. It had long lost its former luster. Huamin hadn't posted on Weibo for a long time. When she posted again, the comments section blew up again. This time, it was a mix of scolding and praise. Su Yu was a little excited to see her post. He asked her in a private message, "Huamin, do you believe in destiny?" Chapter 942. I believe you, Huamin immediately replied. I feel like I'm the one who's been crippled by fate. Maybe other people think that my background is too dazzling and enviable. Some even say that I saved the galaxy in my previous life, but I know that other than not lacking in material things, I'm no different from a normal person. I also thought that I was blessed by the heavens and that I was better at reincarnating. Only now do I realize that all of this is just a side benefit, because in the future, I'll be played to death. Huamin didn't reply, because she didn't know how to respond. Su Yu continued, I never thought that I, Su Yu, would one day be unable to get what I wanted. Did you know? When you grow up and everything is within your reach, you don't care about anything. Until one day I realized that there was something beautiful, but it didn't belong to me. I felt a sense of loss. Or rather, I felt like I might never be able to have it. That kind of heartache was worse than death. Every time Lord Su saw the Qin clan couple abuse the single couple, he would be tortured. Yet, he took the initiative to torture himself. As long as he could see Huamin, he would definitely go there. As long as he didn't cause trouble for Huamin, no matter what, he felt that it was worth it. However, the growing longing and the pain of not being able to get what he wanted always accompanied him. Since you know that it doesn't belong to you, why don't you give up? Sometimes, being too stubborn isn't a good thing. Huamin comforted Su. To be honest, she really hoped that Su Yu could let go. After all, this was a form of spiritual relief for her. She never thought that one day she would be able to marry Qin Chu, the man that she loved deeply when she was young. But since she was already married, she never thought that they would be separated in the future. So, forget about Su Yu. Even if someone better and more outstanding than Su Yu appeared, Huamin would remain indifferent. Perhaps she felt that she was being too cold, but this was her principle. She didn't want things that didn't belong to her, but she had to fight for things that belonged to her. You make it sound so easy. How could I give up so easily? Do you think this is the market? If you don't have cucumbers, you can just buy radishes. Su Yu smiled bitterly. Huamin remained silent. That's why I said that God is playing with me. If you believe in fate, you should know that meeting in life is to constantly repay the debts owed in the previous life. Buddha said that if there is no debt, why would you want to meet? I feel that I might have owed you too much in my previous life, so I'm unlucky in this life, letting you torture me until my liver and guts are broken. Su Yu, I don't know how to say this, but I don't like to drag things out. If I don't like you, then I don't like you. If it wasn't for Qin Chu, I wouldn't have fallen in love with you. Feelings aren't something that can be solved just by being touched. Two people have to be attracted to each other, but you can't attract me. So, don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you met me too late. The truth is, if I didn't marry Qin Chu, I wouldn't be with you either. This is our destiny. Huamin knew that every time she said something harsh, Su Yu would feel bad for a long time. But if she didn't make things clear and didn't make him feel bad, he wouldn't understand. Perhaps he would continue to be obsessed with her. In this life, Qin Chu would be the only one who wouldn't realize his mistakes. She really didn't need anything more. Stupid girl. I understand what you're saying. The truth is, I don't want to be with you anymore. After all, compared to Qin Chu, I've given up too little. Sometimes, I just wonder if I can take care of you for a while. Even if it's just for a day. But I know that for me it's still out of my reach. Forget it, go to bed early. Don't listen to me talk about all this nonsense. Also, thank you for being my witness. You're a real man. You never back down when something big happened. If you were a man, I would have sworn brothers with you. Huamin smiled but didn't reply. For her, the less she talked to Suyu, the better. She had to be careful when Chu was angry this time. After all, so many people saw how much Suyu loved her, no one would feel good if they were in Chu's shoes. Mr. Qin was already very generous. It could only be said that he spoiled her to no end. Early in the morning, Huamin woke up a little late because it was the weekend. While she was eating breakfast, the news on the newspaper caught her attention again. Today's news was about Song Yisher, and there was a huge photo of her. The headline was, "Misunderstanding, Pure Misunderstanding, Mysterious Beauty Turns Out to be a Young Lady Qin's Best Friend." Huamian read the detailed news report unhurriedly and chuckled. Song Yisher's methods were nothing to scoff at. Chapter 943. So, that was what the report said. Song Yisher was indeed in President Qin's car that day. However, she was only in the same car as President Qin because she lived at Imperial Park. Most importantly, she was good friends with President Qin's wife, Huamin. The day after the incident, they were drinking coffee and chatting happily. The photos from the coffee shop were also exposed, showing that it was indeed Huamin chatting with her. However, that wasn't the truth, Huamin sighed. He never expected to be set up by Song Yisher. Song Yisher obviously sent someone to follow them at the coffee shop that day. She purposely spread the news that they were good friends, so Chu's affair was nonsense. What was Song Yisher's motive for doing this? It was simple, she wanted to clear Chu's name. She cared a lot about Chu's reputation. Moreover, she had always played the role of a good daughter to the Qin clan couple. Therefore, if people were to smear Chu's reputation, she would be in a difficult position. Therefore, she decided to use Huamin to clear her and Chu's names. This way, Huamin would be the target of all the criticism. After all, the incident between Huamin and Suyu wasn't over yet. That day, Song Yisher posted something on Weibo. She said, "Hearts need to be pruned regularly, or else weeds will grow." However, a large number of fans supported her in the comment section. "Goddess, we support you. You're beautiful, but your heart is even more beautiful. Song Goddess, you're so beautiful. You look like Sister Jilin. Why don't you act? It's such a waste of your looks. Goddess, you're more beautiful than GK's a young lady. I don't know why President Qin didn't choose you back then. I heard you two have known each other since you were 8. Goddess, when is your school opening? I want to take my niece and nephew to paint. I heard you're a master of Chinese painting." Song Yisher's Weibo was filled with fans who were sucking up to her, full of true fans. Even Jiang Xiaowei, who was taking care of her baby, couldn't stand it anymore. She registered a SMUF account called Specialist in Treating All Kinds of Bitches. Then he posted on Song Yisher's Weibo, "Goddess, I want to ask, there are so many houses in our city. Why did you go to Imperial Park? Don't you know that's President Qin's house? Also, I heard that you haven't returned to China for many years. Now that you've been back for less than a month, I don't know how you became such good friends with President Qin's wife. Finally, I heard that several of your socialite friends are blacklisted by President Qin's wife. Please come out and explain." Jiang Xiaowei didn't say much, but every word was sharp and to the point. When Song Yisher saw the comments, she was truly stumped. However, she did not answer. She continued to pretend to be silent and aloof. On the other hand, many fans who did not know the truth scolded Jiang Xiaowei, "You're such a vicious woman. What does other people's business have to do with you? I can tell from your name that you're not a good person. Don't slander my goddess. Get lost." Goddess? These two words are so worthless these days. Are you sure goddess is still a compliment? Jiang Xiaowei replied casually. "Honey, what are you doing?" Wei Liao was taking Jiang Xiaowei for a walk outside when he noticed that she was sitting in the pavilion, fiddling with her phone. "Oh, nothing. I'm just fighting with the puppies." Jiang Xiaowei smiled and put away her phone. I suddenly thought of a name for our child. Jiang Xiaowei had an idea and changed the subject. What name? Wei Liao's intuition told him that Jiang Xiaowei's name might not be a good one. As expected, she said enthusiastically, if it's a boy, we'll call him Wei something. Wei Liao, if it's a girl, we'll call her Wei Wei something. We can call her by her nickname. Hey, Wei Wei, your mom's calling you home for dinner. Wei Liao, it's so confusing. Wei Liao was completely confused by her words. Wait, are you sure it's a human life? It sounded so, what? Does it not sound good? Jiang Xiaowei tilted her head and looked at Wei Liao. Sure, but the name is a bit weird. I think we should call the boy Wei Jiang and use your surname as his first name. If it's a girl, she'll be called Wei Wei and use your name as her first name. Her nickname can also be Little Wei Wei. How cute is that? To his surprise, Jiang Xiaowei rolled her eyes at him. It's so tacky. How can Jiang Xiaowei's child, be so ordinary? She has to be a weirdo. After speaking, Jiang Xiaowei left, leaving Wei Liao alone in the wind. Song Yisher successfully cleared Qin Chu and her name with photos. Most people believed that she and Huamin were indeed good friends. That night, another post was posted. The title was, Fickle and Scheming Bitches. All the women in the Hua family are trash. Once again it caused an uproar, because this post was the best post ever to slander Huamin, and it had a lot of clicks. Chapter 944. The post dug up Huamin's past from the time she was born to after she got married. First, the post stated that a crooked stick would have a crooked shadow. All the women in the Hua family were bitches. Hua Yanyan was the first and Huamin was the second. Then, numerous bad things about Hua Yanyan were dug up. The post used her to confuse people so that they would shift the focus to Huamin. Second, she was the daughter of the mistress. Yang Meirong knew that Hua Zhenghai was married, but she still got involved and gave birth to his daughter. Third, she pretended to be cool when she was in school. She wasn't popular, had no friends, and rarely attended class reunions. Fourth, she purposely tried to sow discord between Qin Chu and her parents, causing chaos in the Qin family. During this time, Lady Qin was hospitalized, but she didn't visit or allow Qin Chu to visit her. These were all leaked by GK's employees. Fifth, she interfered with GK's business and suppressed Annie Liang because she suspected that Annie Liang seduced Qin Chu. Therefore, she didn't arrange any work for Annie Liang and tried to freeze her. She even transferred the higher-ups to another city to avenge her personal grudge. Sixth, she used her identity to do whatever she wanted at Southside Recuperation Center. Even President Wu didn't dare to mess with her. The most ridiculous part was that she suddenly changed from a nurse to a doctor. Seventh, she got close to Ni Yang and bought his heart. Just as he was about to sign with Imperial Star, he betrayed Su Yu and betrayed his master. Eighth, she suppressed her ex-boyfriend Ning Ziyuan and forced Ning Ziyuan to divorce Wu Xiaoxue. Due to the Qin family's influence, Wu Xiaoxue was forced to go abroad. Ninth, she seduced Su Yu multiple times and played the two men at the peak of power in the palm of her hand. 10th, this woman was ambitious. She used everyone she could to take control of GK and even coveted Imperial Star. In conclusion, Hua Mian was a scheming bitch with a high IQ and EQ, a pretentious white lotus. It was only right that this woman didn't have children. It was karma. God was punishing her. Normally, Hua Min wouldn't care about such a post, but the last sentence was the scariest. It was retribution for a woman like her to not have a child. Even God was punishing her. These words pierced Hua Min's heart deeply. She sat alone in front of the gate of South Hill Manor, beside the fountain. Two streams of tears slowly flowed down her cheeks. If God had eyes, he should really give her a baby. She, Hua Min, had never done anything that made her feel guilty. She had never let anyone down. Why did she have to bear such a crime? She could endure it, but what about Qin Chu? She really wanted to give birth to a child for Qin Chu, whether it was a boy or a girl, so that she could shut those evil people's mouths. She wanted them to see if Hua Mian didn't have children because of her evil deeds. A young lady? What's wrong? Uncle Lee walked over. I'm fine. I just don't feel too well. I'll ask the driver to take you to the hospital. It's okay, I'm fine. My eyes hurt, maybe because I stayed up all night. Huamin waved her hands. Then, she took out a tissue and wiped her tears. Please don't tell Mr. Qin that I cried, okay? He'll be worried. I know, a young lady. Uncle Lee nodded. After the post was posted, many people commented on Huamin's post. Most of them said that Huamin cheated on Huamin and deserved it. A small number of people who didn't know the truth said that they would wait for the results. However, this wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that at noon, Lady Qin came to stab Huamian in the back. Someone exposed a recording of Lady Qin online. It was a short interview. Mrs. Qin, what do you think about the post about your daughter-in-law? I rarely live with her, so I don't know the details. Is it true that she didn't come to visit you when you were hospitalized? Not even once? Yes, and she didn't want my son to come. During that time, my son and I were estranged. Then did you and Chairman Qin really have a falling out with your son because of this daughter-in-law? To be honest, it's like this. We used to have a good relationship with our son, but everything changed after she married into our family. Old Madam Qin's stab was timely and vicious. Her move of adding insult to injury basically blackened Huamian's reputation to the core. After the call records were exposed, more people believed the authenticity of the post. A large number of fans went to Southside to cause trouble, threatening to demand an explanation from Huamin. Fortunately, Huamin was on leave today and was at South Hill Manor. Sister Mian, did you see the news? Your mother-in-law is up to no good again. I don't think you'll be able to turn things around this time. Huasiqian sent a WeChat message. After reading Huasiqian's message, Huamin's face fell. Chapter 945. I saw it, Huamian replied with 3 simple words. You haven't been doing too well lately? Do you want to come back and stay for a few days? Huasiqian asked. Why do you look like you're gloating when something happens to my family? What good will it do you? Huasiqian asked back. You're overthinking it. Little sister Mian, I'm just worried about you. That's why I asked if you need any help. No need, I'm fine. Okay then. Oh right, come back to the company when you're free. The old man is going to split the company. Huamin was never afraid of Lady Qin slandering him. After all, it wasn't the first day that she disliked him. The main problem was that the news about Song Yishi's innocence and the news about her defamation made her even more suspicious. Was this related to Huasiqian or Song Yishi? Or were the two of them working together? The more Huamin thought about it, the more he felt that the water was too deep. Qin Manor. As usual, Song Yishi drove to the Qin Manor in the morning and bought a lot of fresh flowers and fruits. This seemed to have become a habit of hers, and the maids treated her as a part of the family. Don't put these lilies in the bedroom, just put them in the living room. The fragrance of lilies is bad for the body. If you smell them for too long, you'll get dizzy. Song Yishi instructed. Okay, Miss Song. Oh, right. Remember to wash the strawberries a few more times and soak them in salt water for half an hour. Otherwise, the pesticides will remain on the surface. Okay, Miss Song. Also, when you cook dinner in the future, don't put too much salt. It's okay if it's a little light, it's good for the body. Mr. Qin and Mama Qin are at the peak of their illness. I don't want anything to happen to them. Okay, Miss Song. Song Yishi carefully explained the trifles of life to her. Lady Qin seemed to be very satisfied with her future daughter-in-law. She complained to Qin Yumin, it's all your fault. Why did you make a bet with our son? You should have just let Xianxia marry into our family. How could there be so many problems? It's not our decision. Chu picked Huamin himself. Qin Yumin also liked Song Yishi very much because he had been dating Mayor Song for many years and had a good relationship with the Song family. Song Yishi was so obedient. However, he didn't dislike Huamin. After all, she was the girl his son liked. It was better for parents not to interfere too much in marriage. Unfortunately, Lady Qin didn't understand this principle. Xianxia, don't be so busy. Come and sit down, Lady Qin shouted enthusiastically. Song Yisher was wearing a brown Valentino dress and small leather boots. She looked very exquisite. Mama Qin, I bought some winter melon today. I'm going to make lamb stew and winter melon for you and Mr. Qin at noon. My mom said my cooking improved. Okay, we'll wait for it. Alright, should we call Chu and ask him to come home for lunch? Lady Qin seemed to want Song Yisher to make the call. No, he's too busy at work. We shouldn't disturb him. You're too considerate of him. You're such a good girl. My heart aches for you. Lady Qin held Song Yisher's hand. Song Yisher only smiled. You saw that post, right? What did our family do? Ever since that woman married into our family has been in chaos. The scariest thing is that Chu is still unrepentant. He's been bewitched by that woman. Look at the number of crimes written on this post. It's scary how scheming a woman like that is. Sure, what do you think about this? Lady Qin opened the forum on her laptop for Song Yisher to see. Chapter 946. Song Yisher laughed after reading the post. Mama Qin, I think someone is trying to defame Huamin on purpose. I don't think she would do that. If that was the case, how could a smart man like Qin Chu not see it? Also, don't talk about Huamin to the media anymore. She's your daughter-in-law after all. Don't wash your dirty linen in public. You have to think about your family. Mama Qin, you have good intentions, but you're too impulsive. What if someone with ulterior motives takes advantage of you? Look, Sure has a point. I tried to persuade you, but you didn't listen to me. You only know how to talk nonsense to the media and say that your son is angry. Qin Yumin immediately blamed Lady Qin when he heard Song Yisher's words. I was just telling the truth, okay? I didn't wrong her. Lady Qin rolled her eyes at her husband. Mama Qin, it's not wrong to tell the truth, but we have to think about the big picture. I think we shouldn't make things too difficult for Qin Chu. He works so hard every day and still has to deal with these family matters when he comes home. It's really annoying. I'm worried about him. Sure, you're so sensible. You know how to think about our Chu. You're not as selfish and cold-blooded as that woman. My son is good to her and her family, but what's the point? In the end, she's still fooling around outside and cuckolding my son. Anyway, I really don't like her and I'll never like her. In order to please Song Yisher, Lady Qin kept saying that Huamin was bad. However, Song Yisher was smart. She wouldn't say anything bad about Huamin in front of outsiders. Instead, she would defend Huamin. That way, she would look like the most sensible and considerate woman in the world. Even Qin Chu couldn't tell what she was trying to do. That was why she was so smart. Huamian wanted to go out for a walk on the pedestrian street during her break. Every time she heard the finance director say that the 13 shops under her were quite prosperous, she felt quite gratified. She really didn't expect that the shop that she had bought out of spite would be revived by her. Now, it had become one of the most popular commercial streets in the city, and business was surprisingly good. However, due to the rampant rumors, it was inconvenient for her to go out. There were so many media outlets and paparazzi around. She might even be accused of secretly meeting her lover if she ate noodles. She simply picked up a fashion magazine and went to the balcony on the top floor to read a book, grow some flowers, and drink some tea. Huamin did not expect that Jiang Xiaowei would come. Jiang Xiaowei drove her own car, a low-profile Lexus. When the security room informed her, she immediately let them in. Then, he jogged all the way down to welcome this strong pregnant woman. Why are you here? Why didn't you tell me in advance? Huamin was pleasantly surprised to see Jiang Xiaowei. Nothing much. I was bored, so I came to accompany you. Then, the two of them went up to the balcony on the top floor. The maid brought in fruits and flower tea, as well as some macarons and tiramisu. Jiang Xiaowei sat on a rocking chair and looked at the scenery outside the window. She exclaimed, "Your house is really good. It's worth 800 million yuan, let alone 400 million yuan. To wake up in such an environment every day, it's like a god. If you like it, you can ask Wei Liao to get you one. The Wei family has too much money to burn." Huamin chuckled. Forget it. He doesn't have the time. By the time he's done, my baby will probably be old enough to eat soy sauce. Ha! He was really happy to chat with Jiang Xiaowei. She spoke without thinking, and her domineering and cute personality matched his sincerity. Jiang Xiaowei was scrolling through Weibo on her phone. Then she asked casually, "Have you seen Weibo? It's blowing up recently. You're on the top search list for 24 hours a day." I'm that popular. Huamin thought that even the artists under his company weren't as famous as he was. He was on the top search list for 24 hours in a row, which was updated every 10 minutes. It was obvious how powerful he was. The person who's defaming you behind your back is very interesting. They want to use public opinion to suppress you, or make Qin lose trust in you. That's what they mean, right? After Jiang Xiaowei finished speaking, she logged into her alternate account, Cure All Kinds of Bitches. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.